everyone, and welcome once again to the bottom 16 reseeding bracket. We are going to find out who is going to be setting themselves up to come in first at our next weekly finals. Anyway, I am Borisaurus. Joining me on this desk tonight is Clover and Godspeed. We've got Paper Thin and Froz on the cast. But guys, we have some pretty interesting names, to say the least, here in our weekly finals. Clover?
Yeah, there are some teams that I think none of us were really expecting to be here, especially teams like 4AM who are currently leading in money, but we'll get a little bit more deeper into that soon.
Indeed, indeed. Godspeed, who is sticking out to you like a sore thumb that do not belong in the reseeding bracket?
4AM, Sonics, I'm on Kia again. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say which teams belong or don't belong here because, again, it's 32 of the best teams in the world. Inevitably, you're going to have a bad week, and that's what we've seen from some of the teams. I think the most interesting thing is the fact that 4AM is here and the fact that they're in first place currently as far as earnings. So that actually opens the door for the weekly finals to be very exciting this week, as well as the reseeding bottom 16.
Well, we definitely have a few reasons, a few explanations maybe for why 4AM is in their current predicament. And maybe some advice on how to get them the hell out of that predicament. But let's, I think we got some standings to take a look at. Yeah, let's see who is here and why they are here. Because, man, the story, it seems, for this past week, Godspeed, has been circles, circles, circles. Hard shifts, weird shifts, whatever kind of thing you want to call it. That's kind of been the bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, circles have definitely been weird, champ, like pretty much this entire event so far. We've seen some, that being said, we've seen some really great games from pretty much every team on here except for Detonation Gaming because they didn't really get a chance to play at all. That was the unfortunate reward they got. But now that they're here, yeah, all these teams generally had good games. We saw Sonics with multiple top 5 finishes, was second as well. 4AM also getting very close in the game they lost to Na'Vi when Sunny had that Groza. TSM has been, I mean, all these teams, that's the one thing I want to go back to, is all these teams have been somewhat consistent. They just couldn't get the chicken. And we know the failure to get a chicken puts them here. So we still have very strong teams here. Obviously, there's some that I wish weren't here. Sonics is a big one. But you know what? The other thing to remember is that we still have a lot of time. We still have 2 more weekly finals after this one. So these teams still have a chance.
Indeed we do, and here is your schedule for today. We've got 4 matches on Taps, 2 on Miramar, followed by 2 more on Erangel. Going to be hitting on the hour every hour. Miss Clover, you touched a little bit on Sonics. Out of the 4 North American teams, right? 3 North American teams make it onto the weekly finals, and one of them is not Sonics. How's that happen?
You know, I've been, I think, kind of sharing a lot of the sentiment that other people have been having. We've been seeing from some of these online threads, everybody in chat, of course, what's happening with Sonics. I mean, you've got some of the best players, some of the best mechanics out of this team, but for whatever reason, things aren't clicking. And we're really seeing them kind of struggle to play what is essentially their own game in this lobby. And I think, you know, when we get to this point, we've started to see a couple of teams change their play style a little bit, change their meta. And that's not something we've exactly seen from the Sonics completely just yet. And I can't help but wonder if that might be the thing that's holding them back.
Godspeed, we touched on it briefly. 4AM, top of the leaderboard as far as money concerned. And now it's going to be the story of Godby and Pignans.
4AM and DA, name a more iconic than that, man. It's... You know, I feel for Godby for multiple reasons. Obviously, not being able to play, but then, you know, having to watch basically and have no control over what's going on. Pignans, I think, is a phenomenal player, but it's still unfortunate that, you know, Godby, who has been doing a fantastic job leading that team so far, is now, you know, no longer there. Regardless, I think 4AM will do fine. I think they'll be able to reel it in and probably end towards the top of this this leaderboard. But also, damn on Kia, man, you know, it's baffling when even Clint is out of answers. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say.
Our paper thin Korea analyst extraordinaire is starting to run out of answers, and I think all of us are starting to run out of answers as far as Dom1 is concerned. 70 is, they look so strong in that opening week in the opening seeding tournament. I mean, just dominant, and then it just has not been able to come through since then. Is it just a byproduct of the format? Are they just it seemed like wins were easy to get? Are they just kind of overthinking themselves? What do you think it is?
I think so. And when you talk about teams that keep succumbing themselves to a series of unfortunate events, it's oftentimes Dom1 Kia that's at the front and center of that. We see them taking rotations that put them front and center amidst 4 or 5 different teams that really have kind of make it a struggle for them to get past the mid game, as well as some really unfortunate crashes and plays that have taken them out pretty early on. And so I think it's a multitude of things for Dom1. I think that they might need to just slow their game up a little bit, maybe try something different, which is now as we're kind of getting to the halfway point, what we're starting to see with some of these teams. You've got players that are getting kills. You've got teams that are making smart plays, but in terms of this format, not quite being rewarded for it. And now you got to kind of ask yourselves, do we start to change things from here on out if things aren't working?
Godspeed, as a former player, I got to ask you, we talk a lot about some of these teams and their decision making, right? And the trying to slow things down, maybe take a little bit more time at scouting out your rotation, scouting out where you're going to be going next. Does this new format with the circle changes, how does that impact that? If coming from somebody who played for a long time under the super settings, if all of a sudden you're going into a tournament and now everything is just completely different, how long would it take you, do you think, to kind of adjust to that?
It could definitely take at least a little bit, but I think the most important thing is it comes down to decision making towards the end of each round, right? For the teams, I think overall most of the teams still play the macro the way they normally do, but I think what it really comes down to is the end game decisions that some of these teams we've kind of seen fail or flub on, where they either are too passive or too aggressive when trying to push towards circle 8 or 9 phase ending. So it's I don't know. It's such a rough question, man. This format again is it's really hard, but I don't think that teams should. No. I don't think any of the teams should fundamentally change the way they're playing. I think it just comes down to final decisions, which again on the fly can be so difficult. It's so easy for us to sit here and be like, oh yeah, well, Sonics should have done this, or 4EM should have done that, or this and that. But ultimately, it's just that the heat of the moment. Sometimes teams don't see the obvious choice, and the format doesn't make it any easier, let me tell you.
It's been brutal. The hard shifts have been brutal. The mid, circle 4 or 5 hard shifts have been absolutely destroying teams. I mean, we're seeing teams get just absolutely lit up, and a lot of that having to do, obviously, with the overall quality of the lobby, but a lot of that also just kind of having to do with the circles are smaller and there's less real estate to kind of work around. But that being said, Clover, going into today, we've got some big bangers in this lobby. We got some heavy hitters, some teams that we are obviously weren't thinking that they should be here. With that in mind, now that we're here in this weekly reseeding and we're playing on normal super settings, who do you really kind of have your eye on going forward to kind of finish at the top of this lobby?
I really think that infantry is going to play this lobby really well. Obviously, part of me wants to say 4 Angry Men, but I think one of the reasons that 4 Angry Men is in here is because of another team that's also in this lobby, which is Digital Athletics. They really ruined each other. And when you take a look at the standings from this week, both teams have so many 16th and 15th place finishes, and it's because of the early fighting that they're having for the exact same area, for the exact same compounds, and that stubbornness has kind of carried itself week after week, and really, for whatever reason, culminated through this week. So I kind of think that when you're looking at some of those teams, the teams that can frag out, which this weekend will really reward them for, I think that those are the ones that are going to come out on top. And as well, Buriram United. Buriram has been showing themselves to be a team that's really capable of getting those kills and staying up in the late game. I think there's a big chance that we can see them place top 4 this weekend as well.
Buriram has looked phenomenal at times. Godspeed. I guess the same question for you. Who are you looking at?
I agree actually a lot with what Stephanie said. I would normally look at 4AM, but you know what, Poro, I think there has to be like a buried treasure or something under J Compound. There has to be a reason. There's still like someone left something behind that was very important, but they're not giving it up. They're going to continue to fight for J Compound, and unless I'm pleasantly surprised, that's going to be kind of the bane for 4AM and DA. And it's very possible that both of them, you know, kind of come out of this really hurt, if not in the top 5 like I predicted 4AM might be. But it's also good to see, you know, Sonics in a good mood, Hwin laughing over there with Shrimzy, and it's also good to see some of the other teams kind of having a lighthearted time, because at the end of the day, this is very stressful.
Absolutely. As we said, PGI.S, the S stands for stressful, and Sonic's coming in here looking like they're having fun, a little bit relaxed. And you know, I pointed out a couple of days ago that I feel like it's I want to see the Sonic swagger back. You know, I don't want to see Sonics lying, you know, all 4 of them on their bellies, hiding behind UASs on the side of some like bum little hill near the center of circle. That's not the Sonics that I know that find success. The Sonics that I know that find success is the one that get up there and they start just taking the fight to everybody that they see. But it's been kind of hard to see. It's been kind of rough to see from that squad in a while, and I'm not sure what happened between week 1 and now, but well, hopefully they'll get it back. Here's another squad that I think is I think a lot of people are kind of surprised by. Attack All Around. Clover, what do you got on them?
Some nice.
You know, I mean, Attack All Around has been managed to get into the first 2 weekly finals, and they're really good at staying up in the late game. They keep their heads down, they kind of sneak their way in, and then they explode at the end. But sometimes, you know what, the fuse just lit a little bit too long and they don't explode quick enough. And I think that's what we saw this week. You know, teams starting to kind of double check behind their shoulder, spot out the, you know, 1 or 2 sole remaining Attack All Around players, take them out earlier. And so the tricks that were kind of working for them the first few weeks didn't quite pay off. I don't know if we just had a bad week for them, but I think that this is a team that hasn't been getting as much credit as has been deserved for their ability to kind of sneak by on this lobby.
They do have some bangers on that squad. Godspeed. Okay, we've touched on the DA 4AM fight. I think we've all come to the conclusion that it's going to continue. You know, probably. DA has no reason. They're not going to pull away from J Compound, and now, especially given the fact that 4AM is now playing with a sub due to Godvy's unfortunate illness, and since that sub has come in, they've won two back to back. So, do we start looking at 4AM maybe saying, "Hey, maybe pull away from that"?
I had a conversation, I think it was with Martin, and actually I think you were there as well. I think more than anything, it also has to do with the fans. I don't think either one of these teams, if they pulled out from J Compound, would get any sort of positive feedback from the fans. I think,
well,
and I don't know how much that weighs into their decision.
So.
Well, it's just, I just think it's a pride thing at this point, because it can't be for position, right? J Compound is not that important. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. It's not that important that 2 teams need to constantly be trading 16 places for it. There's plenty of other vehicles around. There's plenty of other things for them to do. I think it's a pride thing. Meanwhile, we're seeing the Meta Boys, who I thought, by the way, I really want to give a massive shout out to Meta, because I truly think that after the first week, they have shown us quite a lot of improvement, and they have been playing quite good PUBG. I think Sills has been great, but mainly it's been Sparking and Wicked have really shown some amazing initiative on that roster, and I'm really excited not only for Meta in this event, but to see what they do moving forward in PCS.
Anything stick out to you about Meta, Miss Clover, that you want to hit on while we're touching on them?
You know, I mean, I do kind of want to follow back, you know, up with what Godspeed said. You definitely have a roster that's playing well. I think that the weekly format might be a little bit of a weakness for them, but at the same time, they're one of the most consistent teams out of this lobby and making it into the late game. We've seen them make that top 4 placement 5 times so far this week. You know, they got right there at the very end, and I think if they can kind of take that, just push it a little bit further, you know, they don't need to get a chicken dinner this weekend, but you just need to be given the opportunity to pop off and pick up as many points as possible. And I think that this lobby could be really ripe for Meta to place up pretty high.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams that I feel like has actually figured out how to kind of slow things down and do a little bit of scouting ahead a little bit better. But that was an issue that they were having early on, but it seems like they've got that started to fix up. But it's like we are getting into lobby, we are getting underway, and we are going to be bringing you 2 matches on Miramar first. Any final words from who's going to win first game? Godspeed, go.
I don't know. You put me on the spot, dude. I don't.
God, you
I
suck.
have no idea. If I had to guess, I'm gonna go with Bury Ram, dude. I think this format, the super settings, really, really favor their playstyle, and they're a very frag-heavy team. So I'm gonna go with Bury Ram.
All right, Clover, real quick.
TSM.
What?
Let's go with it.
There you go. All right, well, we are going to throw it into our first game with your casters, Paper Thin and Froz. I know everybody's excited to hear that duo, so boys, take it away.
Thank you so much, Poro. And of course, PGI.S, presented by Intel, where the gaming happens. Clover and Godspeed doing a fantastic job breaking everything down. But now it is time for me and Froz to bring you the first game. Miramar is where we begin the first of our 4 games here for our reseeding round. And first of all, Froz, I'm really excited to be with you, my man. This is going to be a lot of fun. What are you looking for here today? What is your, like, I don't know, overall, like, things to look for? The Froz facts.
Look, if we look at the lobby itself, I would say this is not a frag-heavy lobby we got here today. We have a few teams that is a little bit more frag-heavy than other teams, and what I'm looking for is for those teams to basically just abuse this. They want to get as many kills as possible. I want to see them be super aggressive against a lot of these teams. And of course, we're starting on Miramar, so we're not going to see that 4 a.m. DA drop just yet. But we'll probably see that in the next game.
Okay, so yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This is not going to be an early fighting round potentially, but you never know with some of these drop spots that people have kind of in the trash looting areas around. And at 4 a.m. and TSM going to fight over this compound a bit in a way. Now, Tickleton does find Crazy off screen here. So 4 a.m. is dropping a bit short of their normal spot of Hacienda. Iroh has a pretty good one. He's got a lot of bullets, and he catches Lou going up the stairs. And that's going to be 1 in the bag early and 2 down for 4 a.m.
2 down, but looks like Pignan here, he's looking for Iroh. He's still in the compound here. And Forever's just across the road there. The big question is, what are they trying to get out of this? Are they just going to try to get the kill on Iroh and then continue? Because they already lost 2 people, and that's kind of hurtful this early on in the game itself.
Yeah, I think this is not ideal for 4 a.m. as I don't think they meant to fight over this. It just is going to be what it is due to the way the plane path was. It was a little bit harder for them maybe than normal to get to where they wanted to go. Forever is on the way. Pignon's going to stay downstairs with that double barrel shotgun. Iroh finds a frag grenade, going to throw it on downstairs, see if he can catch anybody. Nobody home for that one just yet, but an AK as well for Iroh, so he's got a good potential here to win this battle. Pignon's up the stairs, some glass being broken by Forever as he come in. Another frag grenade going to explode out the front, and they're going to have to come in as 2 and try to win this. Good flash in. Iroh not ready, and that's going to be Forever getting in there with a shotgun of his own. And 4 a.m. does manage to kill Iroh, but it is a 1-for-1 trade in essence.
Yeah, well, they did lose 2 people as well, 4 a.m. Normally, they would go Hacienda this time with that southern plane path, as you were saying. They did not reach that, and they kind of hot dropped a little bit on top of other people's turf here. TSM looked like they were not in time to help Iroh out as well. And we saw, of course, earlier that circle went to the northwest. It wasn't a lot of teams. We had AAA in El Poso, we had E36 and GX that was just by the border. And we see a lot of people starting to rotate their way in towards the circle right now, because we saw how the plane path was super south, and there's still a lot of loot on the north side. If you can get in the circle straight away, you can loot there instead of looting your normal spot, and you might just get yourself a good spot to play from early on in circle 1 here.
Yeah, you can see a lot of teams on your screen making those early rotations, and Detonation Gaming White heading down the road in between Chumacera and Picado. We saw Kia Damwan earlier rotating way to the north by La Cobreria. Furia quickly out of Chumacera. To the west of it there, looks like they are maybe going to even go all the way I don't know if they're going to go through Monte Nuevo. We'll see exactly where they want to roll through. Pero is going to make a very, very long rotation on the far eastern side. DA driving right next to GEX here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see somebody try to get out and shoot. And yeah, Metrelius going to go for Mao Ye, taking a little bit of damage himself. Yan Li trying to spray through, but he's going to get caught from the side by Code Marco. And that's going to be Yan Li quickly taken out. An early loss for GEX.
you got to be careful if you're GX there. You saw that someone stopped on the road, and Yanli, he was by that compound the whole time there. He should have been more careful knowing that he was going to get shot from down the road. Not a great play, but I mean, they were trying to get some early points here. They saw that DA was rotating close to them, and it's a good effort, but it didn't pay off this time.
Yeah, and I think Leo lost his buggy there as well, so it's going to be a bit of a slow regroup for GEX potentially, or at least they'll lose a vehicle because of that, on top of losing a player. Buriram still hanging out southwest of Los Leones, but the blue zone is just about to start closing in here relatively shortly. Division X, they are making their way on the South Road. There's an AWM for AAA and JRs if they so choose. Some players don't like it, and JRs is going to stick with his SLR, just take the level 3 vest and helmet. But yeah, I think, oh, wait, hold on. There's maybe a fight here that's going to happen. No. Okay, Furia backs off.
So looking at AAA, I think someone else is going to go back for that arm. It was just that JS didn't want it, but someone else should take it. You got to remember, AAA is in the center of the first circle. That's where it started. So they basically had a good position itself already to start off with, but then having a care package on top of that, that's a great start. I don't think you can get a better start than that.
Yeah, for AAA, definitely not bad at all with a 2-2 split north of El Pozo. Sonics making their way in through Monte Nuevo. Nobody around just yet. A lot of the teams that have been kind of scuffling a bit here earlier already moved forward into El Pozo territory. K7 coming out of San Martin, heading to La Cobreria, and they might be cutting across E36 sightlines here in just a second. We'll see E36 set up just to the south of them. But I think they're going to be okay. They are pretty far away. Yeah, a few shots going to ring out. A little bit of damage does connect for E36, but no knocks look like they are going to land as K7 continues to rotate around the western side.
This is quite interesting to see how the teams are setting themselves up. Like K7 right now, they're going pretty up high north and almost to the west towards Alcantara. We've seen a lot of circle shift that is very hard shift, so it could be some knock-on effect on that they want to play a little bit more further away from the center to make sure, even if they don't get the circle itself, they're going to have good rotation routes to get into the next one and take a good position. Yeah, you can see K7 right now on the very north side there, more or less, of the circle.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, the circles kind of have a mind of their own now. They've seemed to have changed a little bit in how they want to go. Who knows if that's just a aberration for this event, or if maybe that's the new way of things. We'll see. But for now, I think teams, yeah, I think a lot of edge teams aren't complaining too much sometimes. They do find a little bit of fortune favoring them, and Buriram being one of those teams that I always have my eyes on for a great edge team. Meta making a late rotation on the south. But Buriram, I tell you what, they're such a wild card, Froz. Like, you never know where they're going to show up.
And you never know what they're going to be doing as well. All you know is they like to fight. They like to take the fight wherever they are, no matter what kind of position they're in, even if it's bad or good. They always want to take the fight. It's almost like you would see them as a Chinese team that likes to fight every single possible fight they can take. They want to take it, and they often they win it as well.
Yes, they are just in terms of their ability to take a situation and win it. They are among the best. Any fight they take oftentimes goes their way. And you know, another team that typically works out for is 4AM. Pero, not bad at all. They like to scrap. They'll get involved in fights. Meta, let's see. The problem for Meta that I think a lot of us have been seeing, Froz, is that they lose a member early in rotation. And I think if they could keep it together, they've been getting into late games, but they haven't been able to just get that win just yet.
Yeah, so as you're saying, a lot of times they lose to people early on. It's totally different who it is every time, more or less. But the main thing is when they lose people, they start to get very passive. So even if they get the circle on top of them, they try to hurdle inside a compound or a house, and they basically don't want to shoot people at all, more or less. They want to just stay alive until the very far end. And because of that, they're not taking any control. They get into a worse position to fight out from, and they basically only move when they're forced to towards the end. And that's what's forcing them to get into not winning the games, but getting themselves into top fives all the time.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, of course, we have to mention that Wicked is playing them. The Korean player is filling in as their full roster wasn't able to make it due to some visa issues. But overall, I think they've been getting better as the tournament has rolled on. Now let's watch Detonation Gaming White as they are trying to cut through K7 territory. Lock rolling up to the party, seeing if you can maybe get a member or two of Detonation Gaming White. But Detonation Gaming White still driving along, still trying to navigate the bumpy terrain here. Circle is going to center on the craters. So this one could be an interesting crater finish. Are we going to end up inside of those crater fields? Are we going to head out to one of the areas around it? Next Circle going to kind of give us that information, but Detonation Gaming White does find the shack, or not the shack, but the compound on the edge of the circle. Meanwhile, Damwon Kia was wrapping all the way towards Alcantara, kind of going for that idea that you mentioned earlier, Froz, for potentially a hard shift to the northwest, but it goes the other way.
Yeah, I do believe that with this circle, we have a high chance that it might go towards that cover area on the north side. So we see some of the teams actually set themselves up towards that area right now. At Petrichor Road here, for example, they're trying to take a good position, taking a few shots there on TSM member. TSM, I'm not sure what their plan is to play inside the crater area. That's going to be really hard to try to get anything going, try to get out of there later as well. You're basically just going to get surrounded by people.
Yeah, it's hard unless the circle just kind of stays on you, and even if it does, it can be kind of difficult if you're inside of those crater fields. Keeping vehicles alive in terms of keeping the tires healthy can be difficult as well. AAA and Furia have kind of found themselves nestled up right next to each other. Jayer's going to pop some shots, doesn't catch any damage though. Players still trying to get a little warmed up. First game of the day. It's it's a little bit early in the day here in Korea, I guess, if you're a gamer. It's about 1:30 p.m. So this is normally when, people are starting to get out of bed. I think gamers tend to stay up a little bit later than most. So people are warming up a bit for us.
Yeah, you can see that on the shots. Well, Jay's at least connecting the shots this time. Those first shots he took there earlier, those should have connected as well, especially if you take your time. But we see here that he got himself the knock on Raspberry. Don't think they're going to make a play itself. Looks like they're trying to get into a better position to actually just hold him down right now. So they want to get to hurdle down Fury into one building or a very small portion of a building so they can force them in there and then use the utilities and try to get those knocks and then breach it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely much more AAA style. They very rarely will try to breach a compound or make a push. They play defensively. They try to control whatever territory they have in the circle. And then try to make the other teams be in bad positions, and that's how they win their fights. Oh no, that's not good. They just wiped their own teammate out. That was an unintentional pit maneuver there from the Sonic. So Shrimzy's there to pick up mine, but there's another vehicle available, so they could just swap it out. So all's well that ends well here if they wanted to pick up another one, but maybe the gas situation could be causing a problem there for Sonics as well. But for the Sonics, Froz is going to hold out on the western edge for now, and over to Detonation Gaming as they are fighting a bit with E36. But I want to talk a little bit about the Sonics quick. They haven't been able to find that success since that early stages of the tournament.
I think he got a little bit over the head towards the early stage of the tournament. We saw him do so good, maybe a little bit too good for the confidence. And then coming in, when you have that confidence boost, you've shown everybody how good you actually are. When you do hit a low, which they did, it struck you so much harder. Nice nader by Svit as well, getting that flush on Rasper. And this is what we're talking about as well. Sorry, but I'm going to move back here to Triple. You were talking about how they like to make sure that the other team gets into a bad position before they strike. And I feel like that's a really good play as well. Instead of just going super aggressive, you're making the other team make the first mistake. And when they make that mistake, that's when you punish them. And that's what we see from a team like AAA.
Exactly. Yeah, the AAA isn't going to be like a 4 a.m., like a Buriram that's just going to get in your face and try to just punch you in the mouth. They're going to wait you out. They're going to wait for that punch and try to counter it. They're more like a judo person or something like that, where they wait for you to make the move and then they try to, take your movements against you, try to work it against you. DA has to make a move themselves over towards the crater, as it did head right towards the military crater field, and Machao and Detonation Gaming White not in a position to really do anything about this. DA going to be able to slam down to the northern side of the crater edge itself. TSM awaits potentially, but oh no, Sato gets a knock onto Wookie Bookie. That could be good here for DA. That's going to open up a lot of space and time for them because they have to go for the res, but here is E36. Popping some good shots. Sophia gets a knock on the Merrick. That's what we're talking about. We've been looking to see something out of Enter Force 36, and that's an early pickoff for them.
I was going to say, DA got a little bit lucky that E46 found that knock on Wookie, but hey, wait a minute. They actually found a knock and a flush on Merritt as well, and DA, they just keep on going right now. I have no clue where they're going. Usually they have really good rotations, but right now it feels like they're just blindsiding it. That's a bad dip. You got 2 of 4 AM players just above you there. They can basically just lob a nade down, and we also see that Code Marco got himself knocking the rotation as well, and it's going to be hard for him to try to get him back up. I don't think that's going to be possible.
Yeah, well, if you can't hot drop 4AM, I guess you got to drive into him and try to fight him there. It's the way it works. AAA, though, oh boy, out of the motorcycle right into the waiting arms of Gems, and that's a nice double for him as he catches Furia trying to abandon ship. But there is sharks in the water. Gems gonna pick up the double there. Over to Machao. Booyahoo out. Gets out of the buggy, quickly taken down. And right again, another player drives into their doom. Detonation Gaming White has firm control over the northwestern part of that circle. And Froz, here's this thing you were talking about. DA underneath 4AM.
1 nade and 1 Molotov. That's what we saw on Forever. But that's what we know that they have at least to work with right now. And look at this. Smash is going to go up towards them, though. I'm wondering if they just want to hurl down here because they have no clue how many people is down there. They don't know exactly which team it is. They might think they know that it's DA because they heard the rotation. They saw the knocks pretty close by as well. They heard all the shots, but they got to be careful.
Yeah, there's definitely kind of a lingering pride thing. Smash gonna up over the hill, gonna get knocked by Forever. Some help from Pignons with the damage as well. Pignon's gonna clean that one up. So D8 down to their last hope, and it's Metrelius. Metrelius is under pressure from a couple different sides. Infantry up on that hill as well, so he's got to be extra careful, as there is plenty of teams that are going to be watching that. Meta is driving past K7 now. K7 gets a little bit of damage into the trailing member as Silzen going to cut around the outside, give a little bit of extra vision with that motorcycle, with that extra speed and maneuverability that it offers. And they too might drive into this. No, they pull up just at the last second. A grenade here from Metrelius. Catches a little bit of damage, and he gets the knock into Pignons, actually. The second one finds the mark. So 4AM smokes out, going to go for the res. Is Metrelius going to try to finish the job? Forever's got to be extra careful here. Is he going to hear? Metrelius coming with those smokes out. That obscures the movement, the feet, quite a bit. Stun up, looking for the finish onto Pignons. I don't know if that molly actually is going to be close enough. Hard to say. It's definitely going to let Forever know. Someone's here. Some more smokes coming as this fight kind of stalls up. So Metrelius continues to try to find an angle working on the outside, but it's going to be Damwon Kia is going to back him off the hill.
Forever was good play there from him, trying to buy the time, making sure he was not staying close to Pignan as well so he wouldn't get flushed, because you saw there how Metrelius was just forcing his way towards Pignan because he knew exactly where he knocked him, so he knew around which area he would be crawling around if anything. Forever made sure that he wasn't close there, put it down a few more smokes, was just buying time, exactly what he needed to do, and now he can get him up again.
All right, so yeah, really nicely done by Forever, as you would expect. Now, this is a banger of a fight potentially coming up here. Infantry versus Buriram, two teams that love to scrap. Nawadra hanging out in the front line. Edie trying to reinforce with his 3x barrel, pushing up quickly. Some damage being done on both sides. There we go. Now, that is our first knock. Nawadra does, in fact, fall. Up over the hill is Edie. He gets one, but quickly, Zhao Yang there to trade it out. Got me out, trying to get in with his Bronco. Rolling up on the backside. Nawadra is flush, though, so that's a point. Buriram, they have a knock. They're going for the res. The other two members of Buriram, I guarantee you, they are not going to be backing off as they come on and pull in. And I apologize, there's potentially an announcement coming in my apartment building, so there might be a little bit of background noise here, folks. Nothing I can do about that. Oh my God, bullying. What in the world is going on here?
Bullion is coming behind with the flank right now, but Gabriel is making a play here. He gets one. Konaxi gets one as well. Now it's trades back and forth.
Yeah, this is really fascinating. Bullying has a good opportunity if this grenade can connect. Inside of the smoke, it bounces in, does some damage. Now Logskirt gets Godmeow. Buriram is out. Infantry holds fast. They do lose Zhao Yang. Should be able to get that res on the 9, though.
Look at that. They shouldn't have lost anyone with that Bullion flank coming in there. And also, of course, Buriram had Gabriel coming in late, but look at this fight right now. First sticks here. Finding destination right now.
Yeah, it's a scrappy one between the two Japanese teams. Machao trying to do some hard work there, gets a couple flushes, gets some knocks. He is doing fantastic work around the corner, and it's actually going to be Machao who wins that fight. Wow. The best, arguably the best player in Japan. A lot of people have told me, Japanese, talent and coaches and analysts have all said that Machao, they think, has the most potential. And there he wins against E36. Back over to Attack All Around, who is slowly working their way in. They find TSM still hanging out in this compound in the crater field, and Wookie Bookie is down. TSM follows. It's going to be K7, who might either try to fight this or wrap around, but they have to pull up, see if they can get the finish on a AAA who's going for reses.
I like that they're putting Zenon on the back there with that SLR, make sure that he can get the support, but also get all the information to the rest of the teammates. We'll have to see if that pays off, though, because they were basically going 2 versus 3 fight there.
Yeah, that's a little bit tough. And inside of the crater, you're still going to be exposed to a lot of other teams. Now, Gems finds a fantastic molly as well. Let's look at this fight between Meta and Infantry. Grenade from Ragnar backs off. It doesn't get inside of the window. 9 is doing a fantastic job hanging out in that door, allowing himself the ability to move out if grenades land in. And in fact, he's going to be sent packing to the back of the fence line. So he looks to see where Meta is going to crouch from. But Meta they have priority on the circle right now. They're further inside. So for them, they can play the waiting game. Now, Machao did find 2 reses as well after winning that fight to E36. So 3 up and running for Detonation Gaming White. He finds a great flank and gets some damage. Doesn't get a knock, but into the blue he goes. He's going to have to make something special here. There's 1. Can he find another? That's 2 for Machao. The blue's going to be the one that gets the knock. Jayers trying to finish the job. C's trying to help his team out. He sees just a sliver of the head of Jayers. Jayers backs out over the hill. So it's going to be up to C's Gokuri, but what a hell of a round for Machao. 6 kills.
6 kills. That's going to be a lot of points for him, and that's good coming into the first round and getting that confidence up. Of course, that's not going to be enough to be all the way to the top, but if you can see, they are averaging 8 points right now after 1 game. If that's your average in all of the games here for this bottom 16, you're going to be totally fine.
Yeah, that's a winning formula for sure. Meta, speaking of winning formulas, is going to get Infantry down and out and put themselves in a fantastic position on the eastern side of this circle. Damwon Kia underneath the hill with Sonics trying to do their best to keep them pinned down. It's going to be Detonation Gaming White over on the side as well, potentially maybe getting involved in this fight. 4AM lurks as they continue to prone it out, wait it out as they lost too early, seeing if they could salvage as many points as they can out of this round. But for Sonics, it's all about keeping Damwon Kia battered back, just keeping them off this side of this hill as much as they can. Some good shots from under into Detonation Gaming White. And for Damwon Kia, this is really tough with the circle moving away from them.
Yeah, not only do they need to fight Detonation, but as soon as they finish that fight, they need to go for Sonics. And so hopefully for them, this fight will go good for them. We see that, of course, Detonation was getting into Vico's mode. Maybe not. They regret that. So under here, is it going to creep up? Is it going to find both of them, or what's going to happen?
Gets a little help from H-Win, finishes the job. So for Kia, they want to try to get as many points as they can, and maybe wrapping around to this side potentially gives them at least some kind of angle, a better angle to work against the Sonics. They're on even footing, more so. Still, of course, the circle puts them on the back foot in a sense, but grenades now going to be attempted. A flank coming underneath, potentially from Kale. That grenade could be really good. It just bounces too far to catch the forward members of Sonics, catch the trailing members, though, get some damage into them. That's going to be a nice knock from Indigo. Throwables fantastic here for Damwon Kia. Sonics getting battered and bruised. The vehicle explodes in front of them, and they are on the last legs. It is Damwon Kia pushing up the hill now, full send. They're going to knock a couple here. Big stand from Shrimsy and Tingleton as they knock 2. Kale trying to hold the line here, and they finally get it done. But here comes Pero striking from behind, taking him down. Damwon Kia, it's just Indigo left. He's under fire from multiple directions, and he is taken down by Silzen.
No one saw that coming. Petrichor Road just came in from the south there and just swept up this whole fight going on. We saw that Sonics, they had a good position, but they got hurled in together by Kia there. Kia had some good smokes going on, making sure that they had that soft cover. But Petrichor Road now in a really good position, taking over that spot and not really having anyone close to them, as you can see on the west side of the map.
Yeah, what a move here by Pero. Just fantastic timing to clean up that fight, pick up some points, and completely wipe out the western half of the map. Now, Meta, speaking of wiping teams out, they're going to wipe another one out. 10 kills here for Meta. Rocking and rolling in this round. Division X underneath them. They control the eastern side. So it's 4 teams, and they each have a quadrant of the map. It's going to be Division X on the north, Peril on the west, GEX on the south, Meta on the east. We're only phase 6, so still a lot of time and a lot of maneuvering to be found here, Froz.
Yeah, as you can see, GX on the top, they only got 2 plays up. Division X, they got 3 plays up. Both Para and Meta Gaming got 4 players up right now. Meta has been holding out a lot of teams. So this is, we were talking about them early in the game. This is what you can see with a full force Meta, what they can actually do. Wrecking Carnage here against all the other teams. So far, he himself 10 kills, and it doesn't look like they're about to stop yet.
Yeah, it's fantastic movement and work here by Meta. Landing their shots, doing a great job playing off of each other, covering each other, everything going well as they get better and better as time goes on. And I'm sure, you know, it helps that everybody's English is getting a little bit better, of course, as well. So for them, they have the high ground on top of Division X, trying to see if they can farm in some more points. Silzen with some good shots from IQ 500 is going to have to back off to the other side of the hill. Pero has a little bit of an angle on top of Meta, so they have to be really careful with which directions they're exposing themselves to. As much as they want to get these points in Division X, they also can't really afford to lose anybody right now because Petrichor Road is in full control over their side of the circle.
Yeah, and you can see that Mamu's a little bit more to the southwest of the rest of the team, meaning that he has control over GX. He's watching over them. So the other 3 on the team here, they can focus on the fight here on the north side and see that they can take down Meta, they can take down Division X. But we see Mill going down. That's a huge loss for Petrichor Road right now.
And that's yet another point in the bag for Meta. Down the hill they go. Long getting some shots into Ragnar. Smoke as well, covering the movement. Silzen finding another knock here. Silzen having a wonderful round with that SLR right now. Just fantastic job. Aches left has an AUG, and that's scary for everybody else. 6 kills for him now in this game. This guy is a phenomenon. Aches left, formerly XDD, is one of the best players in China. We see it time and time again. This guy can frag out when given the opportunity. Now, Division X has to still continue this incredibly deadly push up the hill, being just constantly rained down upon by 2 different teams. And in the end, it's going to be the blue that finishes the job.
And GX is still alive as well. Don't forget about them, because right now, what we look at, it's all about metagame. It's all about Petrichor Road. Those teams going head-to-head. IXF goes down to Sparking, though.
Yeah, huge trade there. Sparking, the 2 best players, the 2 best fraggers for their teams go head-to-head, and it's going to be Sparking that wins out, and it's going to be the blue that's going to help along the way. Now, Wicked takes some damage from Long. Okay, no, Aches left just barely able to crawl ahead of the blue. Really nicely done by him. That should be a res, assuming there aren't any throwables that are going to land from Meta. Right now, they don't seem to have many left, as they have been fighting for quite some time. And like you mentioned, GEX waits in the wings. The circle is kind of in their favor here, Froz. They're down into the encampments in the base itself, and they've got a fence line in front of them. So it's going to have to be Meta and Pero that fight each other, and then GEX potentially awaiting whoever wins this fight that's about to break out.
And we got 9 players still alive on 3 different teams, and we have 3 different AUGs on all the teams right now. All the teams have 1 AUG left, and we see a lot of action coming out from these guns, and they are really good. But let's see what they can do here. We do know that they are on the fraggers, of course, of the teams as well. And right now, everybody's looking for each other, trying to find something happening with this utilities going on. Try to find that flash, someone to peek over a little bit, someone to make that first little mistake and just taking advantage of it. GX still inside the walls here. They're going to have a little bit of a hard time.
Look at this move by Mamu heading down the hill, recognizing that he has an opportunity to get closer to the center of the circle, also set up a flank angle, keep GEX kind of pinned in a bit. So for Meta, this fight has to happen. They have to clean out this northern side if they're going to win this round. But Petrichor Road being very stingy. They don't want to be pushed out. They're fighting and retreating. Very, very smart movement from them. Sparking taking a little bit of damage himself. That's going to put him back. Wicked trying to find something. Comes up over the hill, trying to keep two angles covered at once. Doing a pretty good job. Getting decent amounts of damage. Mao Ye now underneath. He knows that Mamu, I don't know if he knows that Mamu's there, but Long gets the knock on to Wicked. Tries to get another. Mao Ye can't win against Mamu. So Mamu doing a fantastic job on the bottom, but Aches left has been knocked again. That's the second one into him. I don't know if there's hope to get another res. Sparking getting knocked by Long. This is huge, but it's traded by Silzen. Up and over. Going to be finished by GEX. Leo steals the point. Still 2 up for Meta, going right to Sparking. They want to have that fantastic fragger alive. Back over to Leo and Mamu. Grenade's gonna be traded. That grenade is good, woo! Right on top of Leo. Fantastic work by Mamu on the bottom, but now it is a 3v1 with Mamu versus Meta. Can he pull this off? Can he find some way to get the win here? Frost, set it up for me.
5 smokes, 1 nade, a broken level 3 armor. That's what Mama have to work with here. But we also know that he's sitting on the low ground. He is going around on the east side, though, and it's a good flank. It's a good flank. That's his only play bonus to get out of here. Metagaming should know this, and what we're seeing right now is they've tried to set themselves up. 2 of them going down towards the wall, and it looks like Ragnar might be staying a little bit behind, trying to get that elevation, the high ground, getting the information to the others, just giving the... Oh, that's 1 nade. That was the only nade Mama had. It does a lot of damage to Sparking, but it's not going to be enough. The Sparking is just going to heal up on that. Mama's going to make a move on that.
Yeah, Mamu's just going to have to hang out and try to buy as much time as he can. See if he can get Meta into bad positions. There's smoke all around him, trying to catch one over. No, it's going to be Silzen who finishes the job, and it's a 13-kill win for Metagaming to start the day.
Amazing to see. We also saw, of course, Silzen doing a little bit of parkour towards the end there. He was jumping on the little pillars or on the wall there to get an angle on the south side, which was not something that Mamu was expecting. Very well played for Metagaming. We saw him fighting so many teams on the east side. And of course, it was amazing to see that Petrichor play coming up from the south side on top of Kia and Sonics when they were fighting.
Yeah, really good moves by both teams, made it great times, and in the end, it's Meta who's going to be able to hold on and come through with it. Really like what I'm seeing out of both of them to start the day. GEX holds on, very nice job by them to at least put themselves into a late game situation after losing members early. You remember, Froz, they had that little scuffle at the beginning with DA, so they're able to make it work and still come away with a pretty good finish.
Yeah, I also like that we've finally seen Ikeslef coming to alive a little bit more, because we've been talking about him since the start of the tournament, and he's been overshadowed a lot of times by Mill, by Mamu, but this time it's all about Ikeslef. 6 kills from that guy. It's just amazing to see. And of course, we saw all the frags on the teams. They're getting all the level 3 gear, all those odds, making sure that they can wreak carnage on the other teams.
Absolutely. Well, let's see what the desk has to say about this. Guys, take it away.
1 game down, one heck of a scrap between Meta and Petrichor Road, with a little bit of GEX sprinkled in on the south side, and Meta comes out as your big game 1 winner. But once again, Clover, it's been the story of circles, just circles everywhere. Who knows where they're gonna go? I don't know. Do you know? Because I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely an interesting circle. In fact, I think in the green room, Godspeed, you even said this is not one that is typically played, to the point that we were trying to figure out what that compound was called, and there wasn't really a name for it because we don't really see much action here. But that said, these teams played it really well. Meta had fantastic positioning throughout that entire game, and it put them in that prime spot for the win at the end.
It might be a little bit of a misprint on our leaderboards there, but there you go. You see your kill leaders from that first game. I know you were singing his praises, but Ike's left looking real strong there in game number 1. Godspeed.
Nutty is the word I would use to describe. I mean, his performance overall. So I've talked a lot about Petrichor in the past just because it's one of my favorite teams, if not my favorite team to currently just watch based on how fun that team is. I mean, they're incredibly aggressive. They have really interesting off angles that they like to push. And they're generally just a really strong fragging team. Now, moving over to meta, as we see Sparking, 714 damage leading the round. Again, the praises cannot be saying enough. Like, they struggled quite a bit in the first week. I wasn't sure how they were going to be in this event. I wasn't sure if they were going to be even like a big threat, just because it seemed like things were, they couldn't get their bearings straight. However, after the first week, going into the bottom 16, and now unfortunately here in the bottom 16 again, it's much of the same, where they've started out very strong. Meta, I think, is the team out of all the other teams here that have visually improved the most as far as their gameplay and the decisions that they're making, and I still just think that they're on the right track to being one of the best teams here, and I love watching them.
Well, I know we were talking about it as we saw it play out, but Clover, was there a possibility that Petrichor could win that game had Mamu not gone down to the bottom of the cliffside there to deal with GEX?
I definitely think that strength would have really helped Petrichor out a bit. In fact, there was a moment when Mamu did kind of pull away from that compound and go back and join, and then for whatever reason went right back down. And of course, that's when we did see the rest of Petrichor fall and Mamu playing that out at the very end. And I mean, on one hand, it's definitely interesting to kind of have that foot in the door, quite literally, for that compound, but it didn't really do Petrichor any favors in these fights. They really needed to put all their attention onto meta there.
Well, that's something that we could think about, but they did look pretty strong as they pushed around. I know your favorite part, I think, was the third party from Petrichor there, Godspeed onto the Damwon versus Sonics.
Yeah.
Sonics, sweet Sonics, lying prone behind cars yet again.
I mean, so that play is actually the embodiment of why I love Petrichor so much. It's because they're very proactive. They're not a team that is just going to sit in a compound and just rest on the fact that they either have circle or don't. They're going to push out, and if they see an opportunity to take another team out, they will, and that's exactly what they did, and they did that multiple times this game. I don't know. I think it's something about that region as well. A lot of the teams coming out of that region just seem to be aggressive powerhouses. I mean, Buriram is another one that I think of, so I just love how proactive they are.
Buriram versus infantry fight was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Although it was also a thing of mutually assured destruction. But at the end of the day, they still scrapped and came out on top of one of the best fighting teams in the world in infantry gaming. Anybody else that kind of stuck out to you from that first game, Glover?
I'm going to point out somebody who stuck out in a very unfortunate, bad, and needs to stop doing this way, and that's Digital Athletics.
Yikes.
That rotation, right? In the middle of crater fields, just kind of sending it down the mountain through the open fields. I mean, it was duck season, and they were game for everybody. We saw pretty much everybody taking shots, and I think it just got down to one player at the very end and kind of taking a little camping trip and a dip right next to 4 a.m., which was an even worse move for them. So obviously DA needs to work a little bit on this.
There's a little bit of a suspicious rotation plat there, but the other interesting thing about that Godspeed on the back end of that rotation was when DA kind of found themselves right beneath 4 a.m. and I don't know about you, man, but every time I've seen anybody come within that close of 4 a.m., they turn on them and they start throwing grenades. But this 4 a.m. just lied prone. What's going on there?
Well, first I'll say some things never change. DA and 4 a.m. again, name a better duo this event. But I'll be honest, it was a difficult situation for both teams. DA was stuck in this massive crater dip, and 4 a.m. was right above them. And to be fair to both teams, it wasn't necessarily a great peak for either one of them. 4 a.m. had to overcommit a little bit to peak. You get shot not only by, I think, the Sonics, but one of the teams that was just below them, and then DA had to crest and was also getting punished as well. So it was a really awkward fight in the end, but those teams just seem to always want to find each other, regardless of whether it's in the beginning of the game on Erangel or mid-game as a 2v2 in Miramar.
Like moths to a flame, the only question left is who is the moth and who is the flame. We'll find out as we are about to head over to Erangel for game number 2. I know you guys are pumped. Actually, no, we're not. We have one more on Miramar, and then we're doing two Aaron go back to back. So we get back to back. Good stuff. Love. But once again, we are getting into games, so thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is brought to you by our sponsors, Zowie, Perrier, Toomey, and of course, Intel, where the gaming happens. But here to bring you into game number 2 is Froz and Paperthin. Boys, take it away.
Plural, it is not a Tuma. It is not a Tuma. It is a Toomey. All right, well, it is kind of an opposite-ended plane path for this one on Miramar. This time we're starting south, heading to the northeast. I expect less problems for 4 a.m. on this one, Froz.
Yeah, they should be able to make their way to Hacienda on this one without any problem. We do see a pretty decent plane here for everybody, though, going through the middle here. So it's going to be interesting to see, because we saw 2 teams leaving early on, actually. It was AAA and Meta. They both went towards Valley of Mar, and it's going to be interesting. Are they both going to try to go for it, or are they just, you know, leaving each other down there and not going to face each other yet? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe somebody's just grabbing vehicles and leaving, and I think that's what AAA is going to go for. Now, Sparking did find a Winchester, and come on, baby, hit these shots. Hit these shots, Sparking. A little higher. I know you and I are just like, please. Oh my God, that would be one of those like all-time great Winchester moments in PUBG Esports history. But it is all for naught. It was even the open top Murado here, so there was even that kind of hope. Now, Circle for once going to be actually pretty favorable here, Froz, right? Smack almost dead center in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and looking good for a lot of teams. We got, of course, Sonics here back in Picado, their normal hometown, and I wonder where they're going to be playing from on this one. If they want to try to play in the center, they want to take kind of a little bit more towards the edge. Because being stuck here, it's not a good thing, but it's also one of the worst things when you have the first circle right smack dab in the center of you. Because then, no matter what you take, if you take the wrong spot where it's not going to end, you're going to be saying, man, I could have taken the only spot where the game actually ended. We could have been playing from there from the start. We could have won that game.
And like, I think a lot of teams' natural tendency is to maybe try to do wide splits early when you're given a center circle like this, but that's dangerous, as we've seen in these lobbies with teams like Buriram in here, the Chinese teams that'll just send it at you. They have no fear, and if they recognize that a compound is weak, or at least a compound they want, regardless of how many people are in there, sometimes they'll just go for it.
Yeah, and a lot of teams, they would just like try to fend people off, even if it's just one person holding it down or it's 4. They would shoot a few bullets just to say, hey, this is taken, you go somewhere else. But when you have teams like Buriram with the Chinese teams in this lobby, they're not gonna give a damn. They're just gonna come for you. They would be like, oh, that's actually a few kills for us right there in that compound. Let's go and take that. That's a few early points, and then we already know that no matter what's gonna happen, at least we bagged a few points for this game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they feel like the fight is in their favor, they will 100% take it. Now, for Kia Damwan, it was an okay start to the day, 8 points coming through in that first game. But overall, it's been a struggle, and Godspeed, I think, was correct in that at this point, I'm out of ways to describe what's going wrong with Kia Damwan, because so many things have been going wrong for them.
I'll tell you this, a lot of times what we've seen from them so far is that they go towards the center and they basically just dive down there and they stay super passive. They lose people, maybe 1 or 2 people, and then they don't do anything. Or they just stay so passive that basically people get on top of them and just kill them without anything happening. And that's what you don't want to see. A lot of the other teams, what we're seeing when they go center is that they're going to try to flex out. They're going to try to just shoot at anybody that comes close to them. But Kia has just been on a different, I don't know exactly what they're doing. It looks like they're trying to play the survival game, even though we're not in the weekly survival anymore. But that's kind of the thing what we've seen from Kia, I feel like, since the beginning of PGI.S.
Absolutely. I mean, what, in my opinion, made Kia so special throughout 2020 when they had just fantastic finishes pretty much top to bottom throughout the entire year, top 5s in most of the PCSs, even winning the Korean qualifiers one time. I think what they did well was they made those great center dives, or if they played edge, they were aggressive on it. They would take good fights at good times. It was much more of a balanced style that we would see from them. But here in this tournament, Froz, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a scared Damwon Kia. I'm seeing a Damwon Kia that when they make center dives, they're not those like 500 IQ, moves that we saw earlier in the year. It's like they're just completely lost.
Yeah, and a lot of times they also do these kind of big splits when they're in the center, making sure that they have like all the control in the world, or at least what they think is control. But then you have 1-1-1-1 split going on, and suddenly one of them gets crashed, and the others can't really help that person because he's too far away from the rest of the team. And then they lose one person, and then they down to 3, and then the same thing happens again. Then they start going center. They become super passive. They don't want to take the fights because they already know that they're one man down. And it's just a knock-on effect that it's just a down spiral for them, sadly.
I think that's really well said, Froz. I really like the points you make there. And what you're saying reminds me of what I saw with Damwon Kia early on in 2020 when they were struggling a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And I think you make a fantastic point there that they think they have control. It's a really good way to put it. They think they do. Now, let's look at Zennon, who has 4AM driving around him in this God compound forever. Oh no, forever. Not like this. Not like this. No, Zennon is going to be waiting there, and that's an easy point. And losing the best fragger for 4AM. Disaster striking early once again.
That's a good play from Zennon. He was just staying there. He was waiting. You saw him taking the first peek there. He said, no, I'm not going to go for a shot now because this is a very risky one. But then he waited until Forever came around the corner. He knew that his teammates wasn't really close by yet. And as soon as he got it, he just went away. 1 point in the bag and nothing hurt at all.
Oh, what a turn by Sato. Makes CC pay for trying to pop the tires. CC keeps his head up just a bit too long. And for Sato, that is quite impressive what he's able to do there. That is not an easy shot, and he makes it happen. Now, Leo's trying to get over to his teammate. He's the closest one. Yam Lee's driving in. You can see him on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there in the map as he tries to go together. By the way, guys, if you want to watch the map feed, which I highly recommend you do, it's on Twitch, twitch.tv/PUBG Esports map. That's where you're going to find it. Pure Boy's finding some good shots himself. Oh. That's Mao Ye down, not out, but very much all on his own for GEX. There isn't anybody even relatively close to Mao Ye right now, and there's CC going to get knocked by Crazy this time. So things going topsy-turvy for GEX this round.
Yeah, not sure what they're doing with this kind of split, but E46, they sure of take advantage of it because they know that they're so split right now. They got the first knock, they find the second knock as well, and they've heard how they're going all over the place. So, Sylvia actually just punching him out as well.
Maybe he wanted the helmet. Maybe there was a decent chance he didn't find a level 2 helmet or something, and he needed to pick one up for himself. See that from time to time with teams often opting to make early rotations these days. So seeing a little bit of less of the loot and lock here. That's easy. That's easy. Crazy had no idea. Once again, K7 in spots where 4AM is not expecting them. So K7 really going into the the playbook here, coming up with some new moves that 4AM had never seen before, clearly.
I like what we've seen from K7. From time to time, we do see them do some great things. This is one of them. Of course, now Lockstock find himself getting knocked by CC here. Again, GX being a little nuisance for a lot of the teams, being a little bit all around. But yeah, K7 takes some good positions and basically just waiting for people, or should I say 4AM, pulling up close to them, taking those shots, and then they just take them out.
Yeah, for Damwon Kia, a little bit of vehicle mishaps, but they're going to settle up around the Picado crater. They really love this spot on the western side of the Picado crater to the east of Picado proper here, Froz. This is really this is a spot I see them take all the time. Now, Indigo takes a little bit of damage as he's trying to get across the crater potentially to get to his team from infantry. But they really, really value that side of the crater.
A lot of people does on the west side there because you have that little dip that you can play. You can keep this vehicle safe, and from there you can basically rotate anywhere you want. But you got to be careful from the south side. That's the most important thing because from there people can come up close to you. We see a lot of teams now in the first circle actually doing a lot of splits, a little bit more than what we usually would see, I'd say. At least when we're playing the super settings, when we're going down to the weekly survival, it's a little bit more that we're getting these kind of splits that is going on right now. But with that said, of course, yeah, here we go. Here we can see the map, and look how evenly spread out all the teams are. Okay, another hard shift, and we're going to go towards the power grid. And look at the positions of K7 and GX right now. They got such prime positions to just try to hold people out. E36 as well. They can basically just try to farm people that is trying to rotate into the circle now.
Yeah, if E36 plays this right, they should be able to control the western edge of this circle pretty effectively, but we'll see. There's a couple teams, some good ones, including Meta, who's going to be thinking similar ideas. TSM rolling up next to Pignons. Of course, 4AM already lost 2, so probably going to be a little extra careful, more so than normal, is Pignons, as he is heading around trying to find a dirt path to drive up into. Metrelius getting driven up on by Pero, and they have a Groza. Oh my word, this is scary town for Metrelius, but he comes around the corner. No, Mills ready for it. It's gonna get the knock with the Groza, and we see this time and time again that the Groza so powerful. Close up here, long around the corner, gets Merritt. Things are falling apart. Code Marco down as well from Aches left. Now just Smash left in the warehouse itself, trying to hide behind the tractor, seeing if he can get anything done. Grenades, but I think Pero has sussed out exactly or close to exactly where Smash is. They're using grenades to try to finish off Merritt. Now they definitely know. Smash gets a little bit of damage. Repeaks gets hit himself, going right for the first aid, but this is all but done for DA.
Yeah, it is going to be rough for Smash to do anything. He should be trying to run away. It looks like he's going to try to do that. That's his only way to survive right now. He doesn't want to. That's a good nade. Is it? Oh, that was so close. He's going to try to brute force his way for the fence here, I guess. No? Okay, he gets flat. Oh, yeah. Petrichor Road doing a really good pull up there on DA. DA had this compound, but Petrichor Road was just breaching that one, and that's what we're talking about with the Chinese teams being so aggressive. They don't care if there's 1 or 4 people in the compound. DA should have been able to see that breach coming and get at least 1 knock before they reach the compound, but that did not happen, and one by one they just fell there.
Precisely correct. Especially Pero does not care. They want to fight, they think they're better than you, and they're going to try to prove it. Now, E36 has found Furia next to them, and they're setting up. I love what E36's setup is. This compound to the west of Power Grid, very powerful. As you can see, Sylphia is able to see so much of the western side of the circle there. You're able to basically see the full view distance around the side. However, Kill Demo is making his way closer to Sylphia, and Sylphia has got to be extra careful. He's out on his own here. He's out as a solo for E36 with a 1-3 split and crouching up over the hill. I'm pretty sure he heard Kill Demo. He's probably getting some information from his teammates about the positioning as well, but he's got to be really careful coming up over this hill. He catches the side of Kill Demo. Spray starts a little bit early. Pure Boy's going to get knocked from Tickleton from afar, and now more shots coming in from the Sonics into Ender Forest 36. So that's going to send Sylphia packing down the side of the hill.
That's not the timing for Pure Boy to get knocked all the way from Power Grid, actually. Now, we saw, of course, Sylphia should have gotten that knock on the Kill Demo as well. When you take those shots, you got to be sure that you're hitting them. If not, you shouldn't take it. You should just wait a little bit more. But at the same time, it's also super rough because he doesn't want to overpeak that and just stay there and get knocked. But, okay, we got ourselves a new circle, and once again, a hard shift. It's going to go towards west, and we see, of course, E36 right now sitting in the center there together with Furia, 2 teams that is kind of battling out a little bit.
Yeah, I think for now, E36 has to retreat. They can't afford to lose Sylphia, especially given that they have just been gifted a fairly nice circle with a chance to do some magic in this round. Now, Kia Damwan is rolling up next to the already beaten up GEX. CC already has 2 knocks at his belt. If he takes another here, he is dead. That is it. Under drives up from the back of the buggy. Gonna finish the job. CC down and out. The rest of GEX says, well, nothing we can do about that. Let's move on, fellas. Damwon Kia 1 point on the board, but they have a nice little spot on the eastern edge here for us.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, and they can play from there because, as we've been saying, the hard shift. If you ask Ira, for example, he said that the S stands for shifts. So basically, them being on the east shift there. I'm sorry, I mean they being on the east side. If they get a shift to the east, they're gonna be totally fine. Talking about Iro though and TSM, I gotta say that it looks like we're gonna stick with Wookie Bookie for the rest of the tournament here. It looks like Fex is not going to be joining the team because of the visa issues that will not be solved in time. So we're going to see a lot more Wookie Bookie. He's been doing a phenomenal job for TSM so far. It's been a good addition to the team, being able to not just play well, but also try to cover that position that he's doing instead of having Fex on the team.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a big adjustment for TSM in a lot of different ways. And now let's see if Bard can make an adjustment. And yes, he does. Gets Melifo, headshot, takes him out of the vehicle. Silzen now holding against infantry, and Nine's going to go out. A quick flush as well. That's going to send Silzen to the other side of this shack. The rest of Meta cutting through, keeping infantry pinned down as best as they can. And Wicked's going to set up. Oh, nope, he's going to readjust. I thought he might stop there on that hillside. Sparking has a really nice position here as a front liner against infantry. I don't know if they know exactly where he is. Wicked's going to drive around, trying to set up yet another flank. Sparking's trying to come up over the hill. He's going to see one. That's long skirt knocked. He knows there's another on his side. He's got to be careful. There's one underneath him, though, from his left. If he's not ready for it, oh, that's going to be another knock. Never mind. That one got knocked as well. So now it's just bullying left, and that's infantry down. What a hold here from Meta. K7 now sees parts of Detonation Gaming White as they cut through. And I think Detonation Gaming White, and for now, Fraw's going to escape with their lives.
Yeah, they're probably going to just try to dive in towards the center, try to take something and play passive. We're seeing, of course, that they're down to 2 people already, 2 players. We're going to see a new circle coming in here just in a second as well. And look at that. It's going to be another hard shift. You know, why not? Detonation now, they're going to be sitting in the center here. And if they can't find themselves a good dip, that's not bad at all being in the center, because you're going to be surrounded by so many teams that all the teams will be fighting each other. And you're just going to be fine if you just hurl down there. Don't peek anything.
Yeah, there's a few of those dips in the areas on the outskirts of Power Grid, whether it be to the west or the east, that you can actually get away with potentially. It just depends if anybody tries to crash you or not, but we've seen teams do great defending dips. Also, it is easier to take dips now because of the changes to vehicles. So Zennon sees Yan Li opening spray, just a bit of damage. Grenades, throwables going to be starting to be used on Yan Li. Yan Li doing a good job with the footwork here, keeping himself from taking critical damage. That one bounces just far enough, gonna get the knock, but he is over to Leo. So even though he gets knocked, he's able to get to his teammate. Now Meta, who's controlling a ton of space on the northern part of the circle, although I say that, and Silzen gets knocked by Gems, so the problem for Meta will be that they are going to lose Silzen. No one is there in time to get the res or throw smokes. They were very spread out there. Now a fight over on the southeast side, Kia and Buriram. Buriram has to take this fight, Frost.
Buriram has to take this fight, and we know that they're not shy to take it either. They're going to be up against Samuel Kia here right now, and it looks like Kia, they have the high ground. They got a little bit of an advantage. They got the first knock here on Noandra as well. It looks like they're going to get that flush going, and Kia, it seems like they're taking care of this without any problem, actually, right now, and yeah.
Yeah, Under coming on the flank. It's a pretty nice one. He just needs the rest of his team to buy him a little bit of time so he doesn't get caught while he's out in the open. You can see Kale keeping track of his teammate, just seeing where and when he's going to show up to the party, and then it's going to kick off. GEX now. Leo was knocked, and now he's knocked again. Booyahoo right there. Yan Li sitting in smoke, just trying to see if anybody gets in his face. K7 swarming their sister team from Chinese Taipei. Yan Li just spinning in circles. Right round baby, trying to find K7, and more smoke's coming out, but they finally kind of suss him out, either see him or whatever. Back over here, Indigo has been knocked by Edie. Canaxi down though for Buriram. Buriram only has one left basically. Edie does flush that point out though, so it's at least something for Buriram. Now Namwan Kia continues to kind of fighting retreat here. Kale up ahead. Sungjong on his side. Sungjong's got to be real careful, though, because Edie is going to try to make them pay. He has a little bit further ahead.
That might be a
Position
grenade.
in the circle. That grenade, is it going to find it? Just comes up short of Sungjong. Sungjong has to get a first aid off in the blue, but we're phase 4 blue. This one hurts, but it doesn't matter. He sees Edie, finishes the job, and now for him, he's got a run or a drive potentially if he could get to that vehicle to get in the next circle.
They got to be careful, though. Look at the map there. You see 4 a.m. They're just on the northeast of them. And Sonic's coming in just behind 4 a.m. as well. There's going to be a lot of fight happening on the southeastern side of the circle now, especially with Diamond Kia coming in with the vehicles. They're making so much sound right now. They're attracting every team around them. And everyone's just looking at them. Look at this.
Oh, this is not bueno. They have caught all the attention, but it's Tiggleton who's going to see 4 a.m. and some great shooting with that mini, as we are expecting to see from him, and it's Sato who actually gets Xiaolu. So out goes 4 a.m. early again, not many points, if any at all, in this round. So for Kia Damwon, a little bit of the pressure is relieved, and now they have to try to get their vehicles and try to go forward. Sonic's going to load up and drive on in as well. And here goes the push for Damwon Kia. They don't have many other choices now, as they have to go up to the side of E36 with Furia still hanging out to the south.
They got to be careful coming up to that compound because they still have teams behind them outside the circle. And we saw once again, of course, with the circle heading towards the west, that Detonation was going to be sitting in the center with those last 2 remaining players. Look at Kia here. This is what I'm talking about. They got Sonic's coming in behind them. They've not opted to push for E36 yet. They're going to be in a bad position. Sonic's making a good stop here. They're trying to find the angles. They're trying to find them around those smokes and getting those knocks. But H-Wing going down.
Well, Under with some good mini shots of his own, trading some damage here with Sonics, but Sonics have pretty good sight lines. This is going to be an extremely difficult fight for Damwon Kia. Under all but out at this point. Kale taking a little bit of damage, but here's a little bit of help at least from Furia. Furia over the top, keeping the Sonics honest at this point, but some good shooting from Mime, catches the head of Sungjong. Under does fall as well to Mime. H-Win has been rezzed. Grenade right on top of Kale, and that is going to be the end of the round here. Raspu finishes Damwon Kia out.
That's the problem with Kia's position there, with Furia coming in from the south. They had E46 just above them, and they were fighting Sonics at the same time. Everyone's fighting on the southeastern side there, and it looks like E46 might be the one that will be winning out on that one because they have such a good position with that compound there to play from.
Woo, Fergus just saving the day there for Division X. It looked like Zenon might just wipe Division X by himself, but Fergus is able to just barely save the day. Meta has taken AAA out, and there you go. They are done. So Meta doing a fantastic job. 3 alive as they work another fantastic round for themselves, getting in towards the late game. TSM has been quiet on the northeastern side. Detonation Gaming White still in the middle. Peril on the southwest side. Furia still hanging out below E36 there. Sonics over there. So right now, next circle going to head a little bit to the northeast. So Detonation Gaming White making that center dive with 2 alive is still paying off.
It's going to pay off because they're going to get some placement points. We see that they're already getting one already right now. So if they can just keep themselves alive, they're going to get those few points. And it's going to be needed in the long run, no matter what happens in the future. We see TSM being on the north side, of course, trying to flex out a little bit, trying to take control. Iroh getting a knock and a flush on Wicked there as well. And Meta, they're stuck in that compound. Look at Iroh. Oh, some good shots.
Really good shooting from Iroh, and yeah, you're right. Meta is pretty pinned in that compound now. There isn't a lot of good escape routes if you don't have vehicles, and I think most of those vehicles are going to be tireless potential, or at least be, hurting for their ability to move. Now, Furia driving around, trying to see what they can get going. It's Pero going to be up on the western flank, seeing what's going on over there, kind of keeping them pinned in a bit in a way. Pero pushing forward towards Detonation Gaming White as well. Now grenades coming into E36. Sonics doesn't have many options, potentially. It looks like they might just rotate away from this. I think these grenades might just be to buy a little bit of time and space for them to get back up. Potentially, maybe they'll regroup and take this fight. I'm not sure.
It's kind of hard for him right now because they got Fury on the west side and they got Sonics on the northeast, as you can see. And them trying to get out of this comp means that they're going to expose themselves a lot. And right now, they need to try to find a knock on either of those two teams before they can engage that fight. Or basically, they just need to hurl down, make sure that they play it passive and let someone else take care of one of those teams. And that's when they start moving in on it.
Yeah, so Sonic's kind of moving back and forth on the eastern edge behind E36, but no, Sylphia over the hill and Kill Demo just sitting there waiting, and that's an easy point for Furia. The Sonics now, they're going to see that knock and that flush in the kill feed, and that might kind of get them a little bit more interested in moving into E36's territory as E36 continues to shoot at teams below them, but the real threats are underneath them. That grenade just short of Sato. More frags being thrown out. If that one lands on the roof, it's going to be good, right on the money. Perfectly timed, perfectly cooked, but Rascu and Kill Demo taking some damage. Kill Demo has been knocked. Sonics getting involved, waiting for the right time to strike. This is a fantastic third party from the Sonics. Amina around the corner, trying to hide himself from damage from two different teams, and that is very, very challenging to do. Pure Boy going for the res onto Sato. It is a desperate attempt, but it might just be able to come through. Smokes are down, but Pero gets in the back of Furia, wipes them out on the side. Amina still trying to buy as much time and space as he can. The res is up for Sato. Two members pushing towards the shack. Blue is forcing the issue now for E36. They have to come through one direction. Sonics knows it, and they're going to try to hold an angle. Tiggleton actually takes Axlef down on the side of all of this. So Pero overextends just a bit into this fight. And now Mill has meta in his face.
And we see that Tiggleton, he's been on the back of this whole fight. He has not been engaging in with E36. He's basically holding sure and making sure that his teammates' back is totally free and that they can just focus on the fight against E36. And he's doing a great job. As you were saying, he got a knock on Petrichor Road there, and he's taking some pot shots on TSM on the north side as well. Make sure that they all know that you guys are not going to get involved in this fight right now. I'm watching you guys. This is our fight. We're going to finish this, and then we'll come for you guys.
Yeah, some really fantastic movement from the Sonics in this one. Some good stuns, and here comes Mill coming alive. Gets a double on it to Meta. Are you kidding me? 13? Oh my goodness, Pero is just amazing in these first two Miramar games, and now they've got Pure Boy running down the hill. Mamu with a spray gets a little bit of damage into him. Sonics hungry. They have 7 kills of their own. They want to get this one. Pure Boy is underneath. He's got stuns in his face. He's got pressure. That's one knock, though. Win. H-Win just up and over. Gets taken down quickly. They do end up finishing Pure Boy, but they lose their shot caller for it. Now, that being said, it's pretty okay for the Sonics right now. They still have 3. TSM with 3. Pero with 2. So we're down to our last 3 teams alive.
Yeah, and look at it. Every of the team, all of them have good positions to play from here. And technically, I'm looking at Sonics and how they're trying to rotate in there. Again, they have, as you can see on the minimap there, Tiggleton going a little bit ahead on the east side, trying to get himself a little bit in there. Mama, good spray on VAR, getting that knock. Now TSM down to 2, so it's 3 versus 2 versus 2 right now.
That's huge because there's also a Groza in the hand of Vard. So that's a lot of firepower being taken out of the hands of TSM. Sonics, it is Tiggleton now being pushed by Iroh and Miraku, the last 2 alive. Stuns up and over, and that's going to send them packing. But Tiggleton's ready. Tiggleton gets a double. Another fantastic spray transfer from the boy from Australia. Mill now watches the remnants of the fight, and it is going to be 3 for Sonics versus 2 for Pero. But last circle just going to center up more or less, a bit of a donut as we get ready to find out which team can take game number 2.
Look at Pero, though. They got one on the south side, one on the north side, trying to pinch Sonics. But Sonics is coming in full force here, running all together. And it looks like they're going to go for Mama first. They're going to try to find him, take him out. And then after that, that's when they're going to go for Mill.
Oh, it's so smart, and Shrimsy just out-duels Mamo, even though they didn't see him right away. Now, Mill's got a Groza, so he can get a quick triple if he's able to get up ahead of it. That's one, but no, Shrimsy's there to cover, and it's going to be Sonics with a 12-kill win to take game number 2. And that is the Sonics that we have been waiting to see since week 1. Froz, they looked much better in that one.
Yes, it looked so good. We saw how they were taking that fight against Damwon. Kia was one of the first key moments, I'd say, when they were stopping on the outside and make sure that they took them out. They didn't want to get close, but how they were playing all the way from the edge there and taking out team by team, having Tiggleton just making sure all the fights, more or less. Tiggleton was the one that's playing solo. They got so much trust in him. There he is. Tiggleton himself just making sure that his teammates can take any fight they want while he's making sure their backs are clear anytime in the game itself.
Yeah, this just masterfully executed by the Sonics there. Another fantastic round for Pero, who isn't afraid to fight anybody. They are all over the place. They are just killer when they are on. They are some of the best in the business for us.
Another second place, so we saw him last game with 9 kills, this time with 14 kills. It is just amazing to see how they are doing this, and I want to see them keep on doing this, but I want to see them get that win. It's so close, but still so far away.
Yeah, I mean, they keep getting good guns, good situations. They put themselves in. They took a fantastic fight early on. They're just so difficult to deal with. I mean, they wiped the floor with DA early on in that one to kick things off. And it seems like once they have one good fight, the confidence just escalates for them. But speaking of confidence, we have a fantastic desk that's going to break down game number 2 for us. Poro, take it away.
We've all got confidence, and we are confident that Sonics just came out with a big win. And as they were saying, Clover, Sonics looking like their old selves again. No hiding behind Miramar's Murados this time.
No, the team play and just really, I mean, kind of all-around movement for Sonics that match looked fantastic. Even kind of talked about it there at the very end as they just took that hard push, all 3 of them focusing on one player in that 2-2 split for Petrichor. Definitely allotted them that win. I mean, they look great. This is the Sonics we've been missing.
Absolutely, and Godspeed, a lot of meta stuff going on. We assume in the heads of those Sonics players. We were talking about it during the game there, the idea of trying to spot out that next place you're going to move, but also being aware of what teams are around you and how to capitalize off of that.
Absolutely, and I think that showed when we were talking about their decision to actually push on to Interforce, that arguably if that was a different team, maybe they stay back, maybe they try to hold them out from a distance, but they just went full aggressive. And I think also, you pointed it out as well, Mamu, by the way, so much damage that round, as well as Shrims and Tig. He is nuts. I also think it's important to point out that really nice trade we saw at the end between Tig and I'm not sure who it was up with him, but they just played for beautiful trades on a TSM. They were able to close it out. Like that's what we love from Sonics. That's what we love seeing from them, playing for trades, playing really smart PUBG, especially when it comes to team fights. And I'll be honest, even though they've had missteps, I don't really feel like they've been playing poorly this event. They've had some missteps, again, sure, but I think Sonics is still playing really solid. I think they can play better. But yeah, they look good. Let's make sure that they keep that up. Come on, NA. You can do it, guys.
Jeez, give them their flowers. They just won a game, man. We're going to kill them already and say that we can play better. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have 2 more games for you here on Erangel. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We will return shortly.
Hello PUBG Esports fans. The PUBG Global Invitational.S, our biggest tournament yet, begins in February. With a tournament this big, there's a lot to take in. So let's take a look at the format and rules of PGI.S 2021. PGI.S's main event, the weekly series, will be held for a total of 6 weeks starting from February 8th. It is divided into the weekly survival taking place on weekdays and the weekly final held over the weekend. Unlike the previous global tournaments, points are not accumulated week over week, giving every team the same fighting chance each week. Weekly survival features 16 matches held across 3 weekdays. The goal for teams is simple: win a single chicken dinner. Once you win, you stop playing and move on to the weekly final. The next team on the waitlist takes your place and a new match begins. This list is determined by ranked decision matches to decide the order our 32 teams participate. These 24 deciding matches take place over 3 days starting from February 5th and will divide our teams into 4 different groups. The top 16 teams from these groups face off in the weekly survival matches first. The weekly final is more like the PUBG Esports you're used to. 10 matches are held across 2 days, and points the teams earn are added up to decide their final ranking for the week. The 16 teams that played in the weekly final get the first shot at next week's weekly survival, and the remaining 16 teams decide their placement on the waitlist during a bottom 16 match held every Saturday, before the weekly final. From there, the cycle continues throughout the tournament. One of the big differences with PGI.S is that instead of receiving prize money based on your final rank is determined by how much prize money you've won. We're awarding prize money every week, and the team who has collected the most at the end will be crowned our PGI.S champion. Here's how it breaks down. The first 8 teams to win a weekly survival match each week take home an automatic cash prize, earning more the sooner they win. From there, the winners of the weekly finals tournament get an even bigger cash prize. The first place prize being $25,000 on week 1, and growing to an astounding $500,000 by week 6, giving teams lots of opportunity to catch up and claim the title. Winning isn't the only way teams are earning cash though. 30% of the total profit made from PGI.S item sales goes back to participating teams. This money will be distributed based on the percentage of money each team won in the tournament, with bigger rewards for the higher performing teams. So, not only do you get cool skins and voting coupons to earn even more cool skins, but you're also helping your favorite teams bring home more well-deserved prize money. Win-win! That about wraps up our overview of the PUBG Global Invitational.S. Initial ranking decisions happen on February 5th, and the first official matches kick off on February 8th. So be sure to tune in, pick your winners, and cheer on your favorite teams across 8 weeks of intense PUBG action.
Southwest Z0. Get the shots back over towards him, right?
The memories. All those great events from the past, but now we have to worry about the great event that's going on right now. And we've got 2 more games left for today, 2 on Erangel. Once again, I am Poor Source. Joining me is Clover and Godspeed. So we have 2 winners on the day, the most recent being the Sonics. Now we have Miramar out of the way, and we are about to head over to Erangel. And Clover, we all know in this lobby what that means for the opening 2 minutes.
I think
Well,
we're gonna
maybe
see
a
exactly.
minute 26. I think is the lowest that we've
They've
seen.
been fast, yeah. They've been fast recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? For whatever reason, the new fun coming out of this week has been the fight for J Compound, right? Between both Digital Athletics and 4AM. In fact, we've seen that the teams that are going to be playing later today in the top 16 final matches have been joking about who's going to take that compound, since both of those teams are playing today. And I think it's going to be really interesting because when we look at this total week, there have been 5 fights for J Compound. Between them, 19 kills out of these teams onto each other, just for the fight to J Compound, and that's just showing how
Sure.
wild that this has been. And if anything, we'll see if maybe one team finally decides to pull away from that this game.
Yeah, setting up for a real
hold your breath.
banger between the team with 6 points and the team with 1 point on the day. So real hype about that one. But hey, you know what? J Compound clearly very, very influential, and everybody needs to sell out completely to make sure that they get that. But here's another team that we've had our eyes on. Infantry looked so well during the week, could never manage to pull that one win out. See where they're sitting overall in prize pool money. But what do we expect from Infantry today? Well, we've talked about it going in, and it wasn't, we were kind of expecting them to bang it out, but really hadn't really seen that much, Godspeed.
Not yet. I mean, look, I just think maybe it's just 1 or 2 bad shifts for them. But yeah, Infantry is incredibly aggressive. I love how they wipe teams, I think, faster than almost any other team. I mean, Nine and Longskirt specifically also have been just doing so much work for that team, and I love watching them go to work. Still, not my favorite aggressive team to watch. That one's reserved for Petrichor. But yeah, I think Infantry is also another one of those teams that's just an absolute blast.
Well, Petrichor has been popping the damn heck off today so far. We'll see if they can continue that going on Erangel. We are heading into game number 3, brought to you by Intel, where what happens? The gaming happens. And here, who is going to bring us these games? It's going to be Paper Thin and Praz once again, boys. Take us away.
We got the gaming for you. We got this. Game number 3 here for the reseeding matches presented by Intel. Plane is up, and man, this plane path Froz is perfect for the J Compound fight. I can't wait.
I can't wait to see what's gonna happen over there. But look at it, we got a lot of teams actually dropping early here as well. So far, DA 1 point, 1 kill. 4AM 6 points, 3 kills. Now they're looking to double this up, triple it up, quadruple it.
Wait.
But wait, what is this drop?
Wait!
Why does
Wait! Is it?
What's happening?
Is it a Christmas miracle? Even though we're 2 months past Christmas, is it time? Are we not fighting over J Compound, or are we only kind of fighting over J Compound? What's gonna happen now? Everything is different. Black is white, cats and dogs living together. They're not fighting over J Compound.
But they're only
Unbelievable.
going after Fred. No, look at it. They're gonna fight over apps, or are they?
No,
What's
I don't know
happening?
what's happening. I don't know,
They
Froz.
have we're only going 1 each for this right now.
It's a glitch of the Matrix. I don't know. I'm so confused. They're sharing vehicles and honking at each other. They're playing nice. No, they've ruined
What
it.
is happening?
It's over.
This is not what we
No.
wanted. This is not what we were waiting for.
Oh, come on.
I woke up so early to see this fight happen. You know, I
This
don't
is-
get to see it.
What
Oh,
the heck
my
is this
God.
circle?
All right, okay. Let's all right. Well, let's move on.
Let's
Then. We
regroup.
got the circle, and yeah, look at Burram right now. They got all of Milta and Milta Power by themselves over here, and they can take any prime position they want to. And I'm wondering, are they gonna try to set up some sort of trap around somewhere? Because more or less we know where this circle is gonna go. It's gonna go towards Milta Power. It's not gonna go towards Softsnaka. It's way too low piece over there, and having all of this control right now for Burram, this is gonna be interesting. I have no idea what they're gonna try to do here.
Well, it's quite a fortuitous circle for Buriram. Like you mentioned, they control a ton of space. There's not teams like TSG and Afrika that are also here, or FaZe, teams who might drop over in this area anyway. So for them, it just gives them so much ability. And I too would not be surprised to see them set up a trap potentially somewhere. We'll see. The normal Buriram ideas are fight, fight, fight. They might take a center compound and just hang out. I've seen them do it every once in a while, but I kind of don't want that. I kind of just want them to fight for us.
Yeah, I mean, them staying in a compound altogether, that's not Buriram. But so far, in 2 games, they only got themselves 2 kills, 2 points. That's not the Buriram we know either. So I'm sort of confused. It's been kind of a show between Petrichor Road, Metagaming, and Sonics the past 2 games we saw. Ixep himself got 10 kills in 2 games. That is just unbelievable. Imagine averaging 5 kills per game. On this level, you can't beat any better players in this game.
That's a really good point. I mean, by himself, with just his kills alone, he has more points than half the lobby. I mean, that's incredible. That is what a performance so far from Ixlef. The guy is absolutely insane. Now, for Buriram, they haven't had time to set up any traps if they were thinking about doing it, because already Damwon Kia is coming out from the Eastern Road straight down into whatever compounds they feel like taking, and they're going to hear or see Knaxi over there, so they're going to backfill in behind him and potentially take Milta Mini for themselves. You can see Indigo still respecting, though, that there could be somebody from Buriram here.
Taking mini power is actually such a strong move. That's one of the hardest positions to get into, towards that side of the circle, if it lands towards there. So if you take that early on and you can take that all by yourself, well, that's really great. You can play from there. You don't need to take it too aggressive from there either. You can just hold it down, but make sure to be ready for those breaches, especially early on. If you can hold out for a few breaches, you're going to see a lot of people coming, sitting themselves around mini power, and they're basically going to take care of everyone for you.
Yeah, and yeah, especially if the circles keep rotating your direction, you can farm some kills as well with a lot of that open space that's around the compound. Now, Svit trying to farm some kills for himself, but he just spins out Furious Vehicle, catching the tire of Necro, and a Necro is kind of watching like, hey dog, I'm just trying to drive through. Why you gotta be like this? Kill Demo as well, finding a flank angle. So Furia looks like they really are going to at least try to backspit off, if not surround him and kill him. The rest of AAA still on the other side of the river here.
The thing is that both of these teams know that they're late for the circle already. They are both starting on the west side. The circle's all the way on the southeastern side. So they can take their sweet time to get into the circle. There's no stress at all. But looks like Furia, they didn't want to take the fight against Svit because they weren't 100% sure where the rest of his teammates were. Though, here we got some drive-bys.
Yeah, of course. Who else? 4AM have proven themselves to be incredible at the... What in the world? Where did that come from? What the heck was that? It's like a crate drop that you as in. I don't even know. What? It landed on another vehicle. What the heck?
What is going on right now?
I don't know. I'm telling you, glitch in the matrix for this round, Froz. It is. We didn't see DA and 4AM fight. We have a ridiculous circle. Vehicles are falling from the sky. Chaos has found us here for game number 3, but I wouldn't have it any other way. That is how I love my PUBG. Chaotic. As DA has rolled into the northern part of the circle there, everybody else just centering up center. Buriram opting for a 2-2 split. I really like this split that Buriram has taken here.
Okay, hold on a second. It looks like we might get that DA 4AM fight as well. Even if they didn't fight at the start, you know, they always tend to find each other somehow. They like to play the same spots. And look at this. This is a full send from DA straight into 4AM right now. They don't fight in the beginning, but here we go. This is the fight we're waiting for.
Oh my God, Forever had such a good angle on their approach. Finds Merit pretty easily. Merit almost down and out already. Pignon's in the other side of this, trying to hold on. The rest of 4AM now going to roll in on the side. Merit is done. 3 members of DA underneath Pignon's right now as the throwables being expended. And try to deal with it. Xiao Lu gets one inside. That's another from Forever. Finds Smash. DA falling apart. The Molly, I'm pretty sure
He's a
that caught
fire!
Petrelius' feet. Does he have
He's
enough
not
in him?
more.
No, it is done. DA smashes themselves into 4AM, and they are done. 4AM wins the fight by proxy here. They don't even have to take J Compound. It is just into the center of the circle they go, and this time 4AM once again wins the battle.
Well, this ended just as fast as when they drop on the J compound. Basically, DA was just taken out straight away there. Such a good use by the utilities. We saw them, how DA was forced into the bottom of that house, and Pena was just holding a staircase, putting that Molotov on a staircase, making sure that DA couldn't run up on it, and then they just rained the nades, the Molotovs downstairs, and got them one by one by one.
Man, Mime's a bit lucky to escape with his life on that one. One more shot and he was dead. CC clipped him but didn't finish him. So Mime does get with the rest of his teammates, but they're taking a lot of damage. CC rolling around the backside. Leo has been knocked by HWin. CC comes in the door. Tiggleton's healing. Tiggleton has to get some help here because CC comes out. Shrivsy there to cover his teammate. But from the back is Mao Ye. Mao Ye tearing through Sonics right now, ending a lot of their rounds, and it's only HWin left. He was outside of the compound proper. Smokes all over the place. He has no idea where Mao Ye is. He hasn't a general idea. That grenade just hits the... Did it hit the fence?
No, it hit the wall.
Oh.
That's good. Oh, the door is closed. It looks like Mao Ye was trying to revive Tiggleton for a second as well. He thought that was CC, but he did flash Tiggleton and get CC up in the end. HWin last one up here for Sonics, up against two members of GX now. It's going to be a little bit rough, but he wants to end this fight. He doesn't want to get away from this. He wants to take them out and just get those 2 points going.
Yeah, I mean, he knows they're beat up. He has some throwables. There's a lot of bodies on the ground as well that he can find more throwables out of potentially. So you can see he's standing on top of them looking for it. CC and Mao Ye going to wait upstairs, but for HWin, he should be able to kind of continue to make it rain up there. Exactly. 3 Molotovs as well. So now might be the time to get it going. He thought he might have heard some footsteps outside, but he actually, it was upstairs still. So he goes around the corner, takes some damage for CC. Now it's CC who finishes him off, and out go Sonics early in this one.
All right, we got here by the yellows as well. Furia versus E46. It looks like it's E46 who was crashing in here, or maybe it was Furia actually. A good position. Yeah. Everyone wants to play these.
Yeah, these blues are really, really popular. And a grenade from Raspu is going to get Amina as he continues to watch the outside of this, see if he can find anybody else from E36 lurking, but they are actually inside, so he's going to bounce a grenade on the window ledge. It doesn't seem to get much damage out of it, trying to finish them off. Another grenade into the bathroom. Grenades exploding all around him. Damage being done so much on both sides of this fight. Sylphia through the window finds the knock onto Raspu. Nice little angle for him there. Kill Demo trying to come up and help. Rusty Zera is here as well. Going to break down that fence. Pure Boy gets Necro. Things turning sideways now for Furia. Sylphia knows that someone's out there through the smoke, just spraying into it. He heard the shots, trying to see if he could get lucky. Pure Boy around the corner, but Kill Demo waiting for him from the other house. Going to get the knock. So these two teams going back and forth. So much damage being done.
The only problem is that E46 is basically all down in that house except for Sato. So Furia, they're trying to hurl them in there and trying to use the utilities, but it's just, as you're saying, it's going back and forth, and it looks like E46 is going to get Purebond back up. So back to 3 people up on E46, and Furia, they're down to 2 right now. It's Rusty Stera and Kill Demo. 2 on each side right now, but it looks like Rusty Sarah is just going to try to get away from there. I'm not sure if Kill Demo can get away from it, if he still has a vehicle on that side of the compound there.
Yeah, Rusty is going to make his way to the coast, and he can find the rocks, but he is outside of the next circle there, so what his decision is going to be, is he going to head into the Milta Power proper through the cooling towers, or is he going to do something else? We'll find out. Petrichor Road has found a Division X, and surprise, surprise, Petrichor Road found an opening knock and wants to take this fight. IQ 500 working his way in. going for the res onto Long K. Looks like he should be able to get there, I think, but is Peril going to let that happen? Now back over to this fight. Kill Demo sees two members of E36 trying to push his compound. They're going to try to take this opportunity to get in, but no, it's going to be a trade again. Good timing here from E36, coming through both sides at once. They're going to be able to get Kill Demo out.
E36 stand tall though with 3 members up. Once again, they did get themselves knocked a few times, but they get free kills from Furia, and that's gonna put some points on the board for them, as well as them being able to take that position. They're gonna be on the edge of the new circle though. We saw pop earlier. And we're seeing here in Milta, of course, Petrichor Road, they have a 2-2 split going, a big 2-2 split. And looks like Attack All Around is going to be a little bit in between this big split of Petrichor Road.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting now for Petrichor Road. They're fighting potentially on 2 different flanks. Janku going to send it further ahead, try to take this hill potentially on the eastern side of his team. And it looks like he is going to hang out there for now as we get ready for phase number 3 circle coming up in just a few short seconds. Infantry loves to work west to east on these. And it is, going to center up towards Buriram. So cutting out quite a bit of water already here. And where will this one end up is the big question.
Well, we did talk about how Damwon Kia was taking minute power early on, and we can see right now that they're going to be on the edge of the circle. But once again, S might stand for shift, so they might get a shift on that circle on the upcoming one. Who knows? But as you were saying, they were in Monkey here. They got lots of vision. They got so much hard cover to play with. But they did lose God Meow, so they're only 3 plays up. But they can hold that down with free plays easily.
Yeah, I think 3 is okay in a circle like this. That's enough to get the job done. Infantry has to get through Division X, and they are going to get inside of the sushi house and try to fight. But Zhao Yang taken down quickly by the AK of Long K. Out on the side is 9, not able to help his teammate. Zhao Yang will get flushed. So for Infantry now, the 2-man push, just not enough to get through the barricade of Division X, and vehicle slamming into the wall by Long K. He opens up the window for himself through the door to try to shoot through the passing members of Infantry, not able to catch any damage into them as grenades ring out around them. Now Infantry out of the frying pan into the fire. It is GEX watching them, and Pero is quickly picking up knocks here and there, bullying out as Infantry now stuck inside of this house on the north side of Milta.
That's not the breach Infantry wanted. They tried to breach Division X Gaming, but they got shot by GX and Petrichor Road at the same time. So basically fighting 3 different teams. That's not what you want to see at all. And they are on the edge of the circle as well. Just on the edge of Milta, and it's not going to be a lot you can do from there. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that breach itself. We saw Bolian, of course. He was a little bit behind when the whole breach was happening. So it was kind of a bad execution from the look of it. Not sure if there was a big thought behind the whole thing, or it was just like, hey, let's go for this compound. It might go over there later on the circle itself, so we'll just gamble on taking that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was a gamble. I don't know how much information that Infantry had exactly on the positions of Division X in that one. So for them, they lose a couple. Pero is grouping up on the eastern side of Milta while this is going on. Nine's going to look for a grenade in the window. Nobody home on that one. It does actually bounce towards the stairs, so that's a pretty good grenade from 9. But it isn't going to find any connections really on it to Division X, who are stuck inside of this house, more or less. They do have 1 member flanked out, but 3 inside of here, as everybody's just waiting for the next circle. Now people have their houses, their positions, but the next circle going to be fairly interesting. As, yeah, will it be another hard shift as we have come to expect, Froz? Or are we just going to donut? Are we going to get something, nice and pleasant?
No. Of course not. That's such a rough circle. As you can see, the whole south side there, you got the whole field in, and that's gonna be rough. I want to see some of the teams, maybe if you're like down to 2 or 3 players, to take the shacks on the north side of the field. Those are gonna be super strong, especially if the game is gonna end towards it. And else, playing those rots, it can be very hurtful because it's so hard to play them if you're in the center of the circle. There's so many teams that it's going to be all around you. But what's going on here?
Oh, he's under pressure. He's only going to find one. Isn't able to find the flush onto Pignons. But here come the reinforcements for Damwon Kia. They're slamming it. They run over Lou. It's just Pignons left onto the inside of the Wizard. Kale and Sungjong are knocked in the grenade from Pignons. It doesn't get outside. He did it to himself. Oh, no. Disaster for 4 a.m. Kia Damwon makes it through, but at what cost? Are they going to be able to get both of these reses? No. Kale is going to go down, so it's going to be 2 falling for Damwon Kia in the push.
That was a breach and a half. They did react quick to it, Kia, though, and while they do stay alive with 2 people, it's still gonna be rough for them. Being 2 people alive in this end circle here, with so many teams, so many players still alive, and right now we see TSM, of course, they're making their self a rotation here on the east side. They were coming in all the way from the south, so they want to try to avoid all the teams coming in from the center of the circle. And I think they're going to go all the way to the lumber mill where we see detonation right now. That's probably where they're going to try to come in from and try to breach that and play from there. But they also got, of course, Fury here. They got E36 just on the edge of the new circle as well. And it looks like E36 might smell some blood here, and they might want to go for it.
Yeah, well, TSM, oh no. They got the vehicle stuck on the log. Oh, no. Now they have to do this on foot, so they're going to abandon the vehicles, run with the blue itself, and they have 2 teams from Japan waiting to potentially put them out of this lobby. Sylphia going to prone now with this SLR. Just wait, get the rest of his team. They need to get the fire set up, but he's spotted. Vard with some good eyes. Going to get some shots onto him, but the blue continuing to force the issue. Phase 4 blue, it is not pleasant at this point in the game. Phase 3, you can still kind of work with it. You can still kind of run in it and keep yourself relatively healthy with the boosts and such, but at Phase 4, that's where things get dangerous. Melifo waiting on the roof. Teams love to take the roof of this compound. Offers you so much vision on areas around the lumber. Good little start there for Melifo, not overcommitting to the shots. Gets some help here from Machao. That's Vard down quickly. Sato gets into the back of Iroh. He is down. Just Miraku left for TSM. Machao and Sato finish off TSM. No luck for them trying to go through that lumberyard.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough, them, especially having the blue pushing them all the time and then being stuck between 2 teams. We got ourselves in the circle. This time, I stepped up a little bit more, though. And we see the trenches that K7 is holding here. It's going to be a really good spot to play from. E36, they want to take part of this as well, though. And it looks like they're going to try to breach it. They do have themselves a Grossa to work with.
Okay, well, it's a bit of a battle between K7 and them. That grenade does not find Indigo. That Molly probably will. There's not much he can do about it. He doesn't jump up in time. Silzen catches him healing, and that's a point for Meta. Now, there's just 1 left. Sungjong for Damwon Kia. Smoke's going out, so he's going to have to try to hold the top of the Wizard by himself. No easy task for sure. There's just not a lot of space at the top. Too many throwables are able to find their way in there. That grenade is good. It doesn't get the knock, but it does quite a bit of damage. Sungjong now trying to dance around, keep himself off of Molly damage as well. So plenty of throwables being used, but Sungjong doing a very good job being cagey here, keeping himself alive.
Sungjong was the first one to get into that sniper tower, but it looks like he got some company down below now. I don't know how long he's going to be able to stay alive for in there. Long K getting knocked by Long Skirt, so that's the long battle going on.
It is indeed. A long one has died in Long Skirt. Try to hold on. It's a push from Division X Gaming. They don't have any choice. The circle did move out of Milta, so Long Skirt on the side. 1, that's 2, with some help from 9. 9 actually finds the second. That's 3 indeed. Neil, the only one left. 9 though, oh my goodness, but Long Skirt is there. The good crossfire set up, and they're able to hold on. Division X Gaming is out. What a performance there from 9 and Long Skirt. It is a 4v2. And they're still able to win it. And back over towards K7 and, Meta, you still have Sungjong alive. Oh, no, excuse me. He died for Damwon Kia. He is dead. He just died. And now Meta able to get up into the top. Going to loot the corpse there. 9 being rezzed. Or not. No, he's not. Longskir's driving. Excuse me. I got baited by the camera there. It looked like Longskir's name was above him. But he is going to actually have to leave 9.
He should have had the time to actually go for a rest there. I guess it was a little bit risky. He didn't want to risk anything and rather wanted to stay alive, trying to get some placement points. As we see right now, there's 9 teams live, so it's just on the verge of who's going to be outside the bubble of the placement points right now. And a lot of teams, they have found some good ground to play with. Petrichor Road still having 2 guys on the shack in the field and 2 guys on the rock. So far, I don't think Petrichor Road have won a single game in PGI.S, but they have had 2 second places in the previous 2 games here today, looking to find themselves that chicken dinner.
Yeah, they've been playing very, very well here today. They're moving well, they're shooting well, everything seems to be clicking for Petrichor Road. On top of them is GEX, Longsker on the side, and Longsker, not a lot left for Longsker to do. It would take a just massive amount of smokes for him to get anywhere near this next circle with where Petrichor Road is set up. Now maybe he'll get some help from GEX or Detonation Gaming White up above. We'll see. For now, he's going to watch the members of Petrichor Road in that shack and see if he can at least make them pay. But the problem for him is that they are actually in the circle. He does get that headshot. Let's see if he can find another. Nope, Mamu's going to find a headshot of his own. So Longsker has to go back for that first aid.
And here comes a nade from Ikeslef. That is gonna be a money nade. No, it's not. Because Longsker is prone, he's not going to take as much damage, but Longsker is in a bad position, and he's going to need some help if he wants to make it into the next circle here. It's not looking great for him right now. Petrichor Road, they're basically trying to focus on him, trying to take him out. Meanwhile, we got GX here versus Detonation.
Yeah, C's never even saw Maoye on his side, and he is going to pay because of it. He tries to roll up to a rock. No, sir, says Maoye. That is my rock right now. Grenade right next to Melifo. Gets out of the way just in time. Takes a bit of damage. Now the mollies are coming through. Ikeslef does end up finishing off Longsker, so he does get 1 placement point for that maneuver. Now, CC throwing some stuns, trying to wrap around the side. He's going to catch Melifo moving. Ooh. Great spray there from CC. Really well reacting and knowing that Melifo might try to re-peek around the corner. There is a lot of smokes down here, though, for Detonation Gaming White. They could get this res.
They got to be careful, though, because they have Petrichor Road just below them, and they also have K7 in that sniper tower to their east as well. Everyone basically looking towards this fight that is happening over here. They know that all these teams are outside the circle. Look at Ikeslef. He gets 1. Can't transfer to the second one. He's trying again. Can't really find CC yet. CC gets into cover, and looks like he's going to get the rest up here.
Yeah, in fact, Lock from a couple 100 meters away is the one who's going to knock Ikeslef. So that's going to make Petrichor Road kind of rethink this push potentially. Gokuri trying to hold the side. What a quick flick and spray onto Maoye. And then Melifo up and over gets CC. For Detonation Gaming White, they want to get these vehicles going. They want to see if they can make that next move. Melifo does get taken down. So Gokuri left alive as he drives down the hill. Melifo is down and out. Zennon's going to make sure of that. Gokuri very, very beat up here. Going to try find some space. He does. It's in the rock. A little bit of a crevice. Never mind. Long sees him, puts him down. So no, sir, says Petrichor Road. 6 kills for them. They still have quite a bit of work to do, though, to get this win because it's Buriram, K7, and Meta. It's 3s across the board for all 4 teams left in this one.
It's going to be rough for K7 being pinched between all of these teams right now. And all the other teams can basically try to make themselves way into the circle here, take a position to play from instead of trying to find that fight. But as you can see, it's kind of barren. A lot of them can see each other. Konaxi going down to Ragnar. And it looks like they might opt to actually push down here with that knock going on. You see Sparking getting really close, getting that nade out as well, trying to deny the rest itself. Make sure that they can't stick it and putting that pressure on Buriram right now. And look at them trying to go for this push here.
Oh, look at him. He spots him out. Sparking doesn't overcommit to the push around the top of the hill. Gets no Adra, backs up, re-peeks it, gets the knock. So it's just Edie left, and he has been isolated by the other 2 members of Metagaming, but right into the waiting hands of Mill is Edie. So that's another point for Petrichor Road. Wicked there with a great spray. Gonna get Mill taken down and out. Very nicely done here by Meta, really working top to bottom so effectively, clearing out all the teams around their southern flank.
And right now, it looks like this is going to be a game between Meta and K7. K7 got their high ground. They are looking all around. Look at Savior on the west side there, trying to find any angles, trying to find any snakes that is all around on the map right now. And we see that Mama is down to buy that rock, but he has a lot of cover here to play with. He's got to be careful, though. He doesn't want to overpeak this, and he wants to kind of stay low, getting the information and staying low, make sure that he's going to be the third party whenever K7 and Meta starts fighting each other. If he gets found first, it's going to be bad. Oh, it looks like K7 actually found him already. Take some shots at him.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary for him because now Meta probably has an idea of where he is as well. And I mean, it's pretty obvious with that big rock that he's hiding behind. Indeed, Meta's going to spot him out. So both K7 and Meta kind of keeping their eyes on Mamu. Nobody wants to let the snake be the poison that makes you fall. And K7 here has great position, great vision from this wizard. Going to see a lot of the southern part of this circle. More damage being done to Mamu by Lockslock. And here we go. There is a ridge line, though, for Meta that they can stay underneath, work the bottom of K7, kind of get up close to them. The circle's going to help them out quite a bit here as well.
K7, actually Zenon being on top of the Cyber Tower here, that's such a good play. Make sure that he has a little bit more room to play. But since he has the high ground as well, he can just hit the ground if he's getting shot by Meta. Mamu, though, he's going to be outside the next circle. He's going to make a move here. We do see that he still have a bike. He has a Dacia there to utilize. And he got 8 smokes and a nade. So the big question is, looks like he's going to take 2 smokes and then try to drive in a little bit. But he's going to be careful because once he gets in here, he's going to be within nade range for the other teams there. So what is he going to do? It's going to be rough. Yes, he goes down to Savior. And now it's down to Meta versus K7. 3 versus 3. K7 has the high ground and Meta is on the low ground right now.
Yeah, it was going to be rough no matter what for Mamu. So for these two teams, this one is probably going to be waited out until the final star comes out because they're both in the final circle basically entirely, and they can wait. Now, K7 is going to have to come down the hill, but there is a Groza for one of the members. I believe Lockslock has the Grova, indeed. And there is a grenade, though, into Zenon. Catches a little bit of damage. Wicked, last frag being thrown here just to the side of Zenon. Zenon prone, wisely keeps him obscured and takes less damage from those frags. Now, Molly's going to explode around him. If one of those had caught him, he's able to dive around the side right narrowly in between the fire and the blow. That is too close. I could never get away with that.
As you could see, Zenon was trying to flex out a little bit, trying to take a little bit more control, making sure that Meta couldn't really get close to them. But he was getting so pressured he had to pull back. It looks like he's going to try to get back up on the roof there, trying to get those angles again that he had earlier. He should have stayed up there. I'm not sure why he was the one that was pushing out there, but he didn't get himself knocked. That's the first and foremost, most important thing, because if he got knocked, there would have been a 3 versus 2 for Meta. And right now, Meta, they're just trying to look for that one knock. They're trying to find something to work with here. Right now, K7 has the upper hand with that high ground, with that hard cover to play with here.
Yeah, I think the good news for Meta is that Zenon probably has to leave the top of this wizard before Meta has to leave their embankment over in front of them. Smoke's down for Meta as well to buy some time, and they're waiting to see who's coming down from this wizard. Zenon up top of it, gonna get spotted out, takes a whole bunch of damage. The blue, no, Sparking takes him out of the air. Great shooting there from Sparking. Now it is a 2v3. Savior over on the side. Savior has a frag of his own. 2 mollies left as well. Oops, clips the tree branch. So that one comes up very short of where he intended. Lockslock around the side, though. This could be a great flank. He's got a Groza. Sparking's got to be ready for it. He's not. That's going to be the knock on to Sparking. Lockslock continuing to check his areas. Make sure there's no one else around here. Going to throw a stun up over the side, expecting someone to be at that tree. There is not. Wicked. Rag does finish off the point, at least that. Wicked now ready for Lockslock. Gonna prone and wait behind the hill. He gets the call, gets the damage, gets the knock. Now it is just one left here. Savior, can he do it? Can he be the hero for K7? He is gonna pick up the point on to Sparking, but there's 2 crossfires here. Rag gonna see him. Rag's gonna finish the job, and it is Meta Gaming taking the win here in game number 3 and their second game of the day.
That is just amazing for Meta Gaming. In 3 games, they've gotten themselves 2 wins. And not on top of that, of course, they have, I think it's 27 kills in 3 games. That is just amazing. This is what you want to see from Meta. We saw them last week in the bottom 16, kind of dominating that one as well. They only got themselves 1 win, but they finished on the top. And looks like they're trying to finish on top here in the bottom 16 once again this week. And hopefully, next week we can see them get that win and getting over to the weekly finals instead.
The confidence continues to grow for this team. And, I want to point this out because I think this is actually important. And you told me this while we were talking during the breaks here, Froz, that having somebody like Ragnar on your team, he does a great job finishing that round for them, but he's also always happy. He's always joking around. How does that affect the team's mentality, especially in a tournament like this?
Having a guy like that is just priceless, especially when you're having bad games. You can always you know that you always have someone like Ragnar that will cheer you up, make sure that the team spirit is high, and that's super needed, especially in a tournament like this. But right now, I don't think they really need that because the spirit is super high on that team. Get himself the 2nd win in 3 games here today.
Yeah, it's a long tournament. It's a tough one. It's a grind. It is absolutely one of the most challenging tournaments mentally. You see all the players talking about this on Twitter and other places that mentally it takes a lot of fatigue. But let's see what our desk has to say about this one. Mentally, these guys are strong. Poro, what's going on?
I am mentally yoked. And I am ready to go and talk about this game just a little bit. Look, man, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Last week, weekly reseeding tournament, Meta got like 46 points in on day 1. Now they come in here 3 games in, they've got 2 dubs. What's going on? Like, where has this meta been, Clover? Is this like, are they just like are we only expecting them to perform in the bottom, the reseeding tournaments? What's going on?
I don't know, because they're playing everything right. I mean, they're putting themselves in position to get kills. They're playing the circle patiently. We're seeing them not overextend themselves too far into fights, and that's really keeping them strong all the way up through the end. And as we see again, 19 points, 9 of which is kills for this match.
Absolutely
to be
great.
Sorry,
go. Hey, to be.
To be fair, Meta has actually they've been playing well even throughout the survival. The problem is they just didn't get the win. So you could say you could argue that maybe their performance hasn't been the greatest, but they're still consistent, man. Meta, again, I maintain that they have been visually the team that has improved the most for me as far as just watching the plays that they've been making, and you can tell the communication is much better as well.
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah,
I think I think that's definitely. Go ahead.
I was to say, to really piggyback off what Godspeed had to say there, Meta had 4 fourth places this week, right? We saw them get into the late game, and as you said, we're really seeing big improvements from them week after week. The meta that we saw in week 1 is not the meta we saw in week 2, and it's definitely not the meta we've seen here week 3. So I'm really looking forward to see what week 4 meta is going to be like, in 5 and 6 and so forth.
Well, we've got this meta currently right now, and the biggest problem that they have in their way is Petrichor Road Godspeed, who once again is getting just so many kills out the pockets, but they can't get the win.
Yeah, you could say Petrichor Road likes to frag here or there just a little bit. I think the most. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, so to speak. 4EM and DA. They not only did they not hot drop each other, but neither of them went J compound, and they still managed to find each other in the map, and it was 4EM wiping DA. So I mean, I think that's just a tale as old as time for me.
Man, DA 1 point on the day so far with some, and it's been multiple things, hasn't it, Clover? I mean, we talked about just questionable rotation paths, and then this time it's just losing a straight up 4v4. If you're DA, like, are you getting tilted at this point?
I mean, I know I would be, but I think there's something to say with the energy that they're playing with. They gotta tone it down. They gotta send it back a little bit. they're being far too aggressive, far too irrational, and it's really starting to cost them a little bit. I mean, there's no reason that compound fight with 4AM had to go down the way it did. I just think that at this point, they really need to kind of sit back, calm down, cool their heads, and kind of come at this with a fresh face.
Yeah, I kind of tend to fall on the side of agreeing with you there. It looks like they're just kind of throwing themselves up against the wall and seeing what sticks. Well, right now, nothing's sticking so far. So 1 point, we'll see if they can add to that. We've got one more game to go. And we are about to head back over to Erangel, brought to you by Intel, where the gaming happens. It's going to be Paper Thin and Froz bringing us home.
Let's get it, guys. The last match of the day for the reseeding rounds. Of course, there's plenty of PUBG action coming at you here on this Saturday as we find ourselves in week 3 of PGI.S. Last game for the reseeding rounds, that is. Erangel and a horrible plane path to start this one out, Froz.
Very east, and it's going to be rough for some of the teams that is trying to go to the western side, but we're probably going to see them trying to dive for those vehicles and try to make those rotations straight away. But as we all know, when the plane path is on the eastern side, there's a high chance we'll see the circle coming in on the eastern side as well. So you might not want to go too far to the west. And DA and 4AM, let's see what they're going to do this time, because last game, as they said on the desk, they didn't fight, not at least for J Compound. They did fight later on in the game, and looks like they're not going to fight this time either. What is this in no lean, though? Looks like we got ourselves some action going on here between AAA and Need for 6. No? Gem.
Oh, Amanat. Oh, he catches Gems in the back. Gems just barely able to escape with that US. E36, of course, really would like to have had that themselves, but Gems prioritized it on his drop and is able to escape with it. So vehicle's going to be split between 4AM and DA. This time J Compound, I guess, is taken by DA. Not that that matters too much. Long K has the rock. Here comes, oh God, here comes more. Oh my God, all of infantry is here trying to run him over. Where's the rest of Division X though? Division X IQ 500 has that scar. Gonna put some shots in infantry. Backs them off of his teammate. Yan Lee here has kill demo pretty weak with this SKS. Spray it in there. Not too many bullets left. Got to be careful with that. Did clip at least one into kill demo. And Demo did find a first aid kit. Thank God. That gives him a fighting chance in this. 30 bullets and a Mark 16. And he has a chance. He has a hope. Now he doesn't. The rest of GX here. This is almost undoable. But he tries to get over there with that burst fire. He sees him out the window. One comes in the door. He's going to get him, but doesn't have enough left in the chamber to finish him off. But here comes Raspu. DBS, baby. Get in here. See if you can finish what kill demo started. See if you can catch him going for that res. Now, GX is being very patient. They're hanging around the corners. Raspu could try some shenanigans, jumping and hip firing. He catches another one. Yan Lee in the grill. Yan Lee gonna get knocked here as well. Plenty of bullets still left for this DBS. He's gonna open the door, fake it. Mao Ye watching the corner, gonna shoot out the door. Raspu wants all angles available to him. Jumps up, gets the finish on Yan Lee. This is a great thing about a gun like the DBS. You can land the jumping shots with the hip fire. Don't have to rely on that accuracy that you need with the other guns.
Fury is playing this real well. They're waiting for the rest of the teammates getting in here. But as we can see, Leo from GX is trying to get in here and getting involved as well. Rasper doing so much damage with this DBS kill demo. He did fall early on, but he was buying so much time. Also getting that first knock on GX, that was so important. Making sure that Rasper had the time to move in to the compound itself, because he had that DBS, he couldn't just snipe from distance. He had to get up close and personal. And now GX, they're only down to Leo here.
Yeah, that's a great point. That opening knock was so crucial for Furia there. And now Leo out on a rock and the flanks coming through. Rusty's arrow with a mutant. Leo just one bullet behind and one clip in his barrel. He has a 4X on it, and he's inching up towards Necro now, keeping himself crouched, keeping himself under the sight lines of the compound itself. Doesn't see anybody just yet. Now he's going to see somebody. He gets double shotted. Wow. Gets Raspu down. Now going to see Necro. Doesn't have a lot of bullets, so he's got to be real careful here. Only 3 left. Make it 4 if he reloads. That is it for Leo. That is all he has to work with. 4 bullets. If he does this for us, I am going to lose my mind, because that would be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. He needs to find another gun. There's no other way he's getting it done otherwise. He knows the res is happening behind the building, so that allows him to push in, and that allows him to find
and the
a
DBS.
DBS. Woo! Let's go,
4x
baby. Put that
DBS.
4X. Do it, baby. Why not?
Oh, look at the double barrel here as well. Oh, Rusty Sierra. He's got to close that down, but that was a good try from Leo. Also, of course, we saw Leo getting that knock with that barrel, and he was tapping with it. And I'll tell you this, tapping with a barrel, that's not what you want to do. You want to spray with a barrel. It's super easy to control when you're spraying it, but tapping it makes it so hard to control. Him being able to hit those 2 headshots was just amazing to see.
That's a really good point. The barrel is really, it kicks really hard, bullet to bullet. So that's quite excellent to see from Leo. Now, we haven't been able to talk about it. It is a milli circle, it looks like, from what we see with Buriram making the boat rotation there. Savior has more of Furia in his sights. Oh, not able to get up over the hill is Rusty Zera. Buyohu with a good crossfire with the M4, finds that knock. Now the last 2 members of Furia trying to escape in their UAZ.
Broken level 2 armor, they are very starved on loot itself, and they are far from the circle. As you said, we have ourselves a milli circle going on, and we only saw one team dropping on Sovzaki Island. That was Petrichor Road. Right now, we have a few more teams that has occupied the island. We got 4AM, Division X Gaming, Infantry, Meta Gaming, and Buriram. And Kia is going to be holding the Eastern Bridge. It looks like they're setting up a camp here, trying to get themselves a few points from teams that will try to cross here on this side. And as we know, there's still about 8 or 9 teams that is on the northern side that needs to cross the bridge, because this will more or less be a milli circle. And Petrichor Road, not only were they the first ones here on the island to get themselves an MK14 to play with as well, that is not a bad start if I get to say it myself.
Yeah, like they need any more help today. They're already kicking butt. Them and Meta are just leaps and bounds above the other teams in this lobby. It has just been a phenomenal day for those 2 teams. Sonics had a win in there, but they haven't been able to put up the kill numbers that Pero and Meta have. Now, Damwon Kia has crossed the bridge. 4AM going pretty deep into this circle as they find infantry lying in wait on the road heading to the south of the military base. They Forever does drive into the little crater here with the pond inside of it, so that's going to be the stopping point for 4AM for now. But I was actually kind of curious if anybody was going to try any bridge camping, particularly 4AM, Froz. We saw them yesterday in the scrims. They were actually practicing some bridge camping techniques, but this time around, they just opt to go deep into the middle.
Yeah, yesterday we saw them during the scrims where they were camping on the Eastern Bridge on Millie Island itself. This time they went around on the Western Bridge, though. It looks like they were a little bit worried about getting camped themselves because they were a little bit late on that rotation. It comes down with the plane, how they had to go towards apps for the loot, and then it took a little bit longer time than they wanted to before they could rotate over. Sonics, of course, making a way over as well, and that's we can see there's no teams camping on the Western Bridge right now, so it's just free passage right now. And we do know that Sonics, they usually like to play on the western side, but looking at things with the circle, of course, they're gonna go towards the northern here, trying to find themselves something to play with. Damwon Kia, they are opted to not go for the bridge camp anymore. They're going to take the radio tower here. A good position to scout, get a lot of information, especially early on. And we haven't really seen the circles going towards the radio tower lately, but we know that if they do, it's so strong to be up here. You have so much control, and you don't need to worry about getting yourself knocked because it's a safe rest, basically.
What do you think about them leaving Under on the bottom side here at Crossroads? Although he might move, but if this is what Under is going to do, is stay here, what do you think about Damwon's Kia's setup? If we could talk about that for a second.
So if we talk about that, if Under gets breached, he needs to get at least 1 or 2 knocks straight away. If he can't get that, that is not a good split at all. But if he can get 1 or 2 knocks and then get out of there, that means that they have control over the whole Crossroads down there, and that's going to give them a lot of control, a lot of rotation routes later on as well, and maybe even play from down there if we see that the circle is going back towards the north side. I think that's what they they're waiting for right now. They want to see if the circle goes back to the north side. They don't want someone being in crossroads. Make sure that they can rotate back up to the north side. K7 though, still in the blue here, and I'm looking at the map right now. We have 2 guys here over by Apps, but they also have 2 left up in Severny. That's where they're looting right now. Here we go. That's the 2 guys, Xavier and Lockstock. They do have the vehicles. They're taking the time. They know they're late already to the circle, so you don't need to stress it out. Find a few more meds, and you're all fine. Looting a little bit more. Make sure that you have and play with what you're comfortable with for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The thing about the esports setting is the first 2 circles you can get away. Even into the 3rd circle, I've seen teams do it. Get away with just hanging out in the blue. In fact, there's 4 teams in the blue right now. K7, Furia, AAA, and E36 are all up there. Now, circle does go shift up to the north. So for Damwon Kia, still having some of that north part of the main island itself lent them to believe that yes, it might shift north, and I think for them, the gamble is paying off right so far. DA, it's been a day to forget for DA, only 1 point so far, but see if they can right the ship here, maybe have a strong finish, bounce back, set themselves up for a big day number 2. Pero sees Buriram driving side by side, and both of them kind of veer off from each other, going to settle on up away. Infantry has a big spread around these bunkers.
I'm not sure I agree with Digital Athletics play here, getting all 4 into one bunker or one hangar. It's so hard to get anywhere if you get stuck in there. Of course, they're kind of towards the center of circle, but not really, more a little bit towards the southwest. At the same time, there's so many teams right now, they're trying to get themselves into the best position to play from, and not everybody's agreeing on where the circle will be going. That's what we're seeing a lot of splits right now. A lot of people taking different positions depending on where they think that the circle will be going. Detonation looks like they're going to try to opt for the crossroads here. We saw Under being here before, but after that shift down to the south, we saw that the north side is not in anymore. Under didn't want to play there.
Yeah, Under, I think, pieced out of there. Infantry wants to make DA pay for this, what you said was a bit of a mistake in their rotation. Now, Code Barco does get a knock here on to Longsker. So Infantry running around in front of Smash. Smash has a lot of smoke. He's going to use that to try to sneak out, but 9 catches him just as he's trying to get around the edge. Zhao Yang now trying to hold that edge. Smash finds the corner to hide behind and get his heels off. So now Infantry kind of do-si-doed them into the bad position. Now they're inside the bunker.
Yeah, it turned around a little bit, but looking at it, now Infantry do have the cover to play with while DA is going to be in the open. And you see that Division X Gaming up on the hill here. Oh, wait, it's only Neil though. But he's going to try to find something going on there. The rest of Division X is actually on the south side, trying to rotate into a better position. So I'm guessing that Neil is just trying to grab all the information. Good nade by Smash, though.
Really good nade by Smash here. He is doing a fantastic job buying time, being sneaky. His ability to get outside of this bunker was so smart. And now he's coming around the corner, but Zhao Yang is ready for him. What a spray from Zhao Yang, saving Infantry's bacon here. Matrelius and Code Marco are pretty stuck. They might just try to send it. They might try to finish what Smash started. Res has happened. 9 now has to go. Forget it. Matrelius from the side with the mini. 9 stuck there. That's going to be the end of it. DA going to come through and rescue Smash. That is a big turnaround here for DA. Well played.
That is just disgusting. The shots that we saw them hit there, both with Charles and Comarco. Oh my, you gotta feel for Infantry. They were in such a good position, but that one nade from Smash, that started everything. Getting that first knock was such an important thing. Now we do see E36 here trying to fight K7 in the blue, but we also have Furia just close by on the Western Bridge.
Yeah, this is all over by the lighthouse. Meanwhile, everybody else is like pretty much in the circle, except for TSM and AAA. But this is just a fight for kills. At this point, these teams it took too long. All of them had the exact same idea to go for this particular bridge at the same time, hoping that maybe someone else would go to the eastern bridge. But no, it's going to be this Pure Boy with the double. What a spray with the barrel. Easy pickings for him, and now Savior and Locksloth forget that. Pure Boy, what the heck? He ate his Cheerios this morning, Froz. That is some fantastic shooting from him.
If that's Cheers what does it, I want some Cheers right now as well. Noxel just survives that blue there. He's far up by Pochinki, has no vehicle, and he's got a long way to run if he wants to make it into the circle. It's just a matter of time before K7 is gone from this game. But Pure Boy, oh my. How do you manage to do that?
He's been playing fantastic this tournament, and Sato has just enough time to get this res off. It is phase 3, so there's still 2 minutes on the clock, and you can still res and get your heals off fast enough that you can survive. But again, Furia, another roadblock in the way for E36, another obstacle for them to hurdle. See if they can get it done, and he will be able to get the first aid off just in time. Well done here by E36. Furia has no intentions of leaving this slot. Lock is just going to send some parting shots before he sends himself to the lobby. Well, K7, that's a rough one. Military circles are difficult for any Severny team, and fighting the whole way through finds them out early in this one.
Furia has been setting this up for a long time. They better not fail this right now. They find it one, but there's more. Are they gonna find a Pure Boy in the back there? Actually, there's 2 in that bucket. They find another one. Now there's just 1 left. It's only Pure Boy left. I think he's gonna be very starved on meds as well. And I think that Furia was betting on that. They had more meds, that they were gonna get some meds from E36 by doing that camp, because they're still so far out. And this is basically them putting himself in danger of the whole game by playing this hard game here. They could have gone for the other side of the bridge, make sure that they were even closer to the circle, taking less damage, having an easier time to get in. They do have this bike though, so they should be able to get inside. And we see that Circle Free is about to close soon as well. And yeah, a lot of the teams have not done a lot in the circle itself. They've been playing pretty passively. Everyone's been trying to find himself a spot to just chill at right now. And basically all the action was on the Western Bridge that we just saw.
Absolutely. For Pure Boy, it's going to, that doesn't help anything there, Furia. You can't be running into stuff unless that was intentional. As they get okay, looks like they're actually scouting things out a bit, and maybe needed to do some situating. As yep, they are going to switch. I think they might have seat swap there, so they could pull off some heals, but they are well beat up themselves. They find the edge of the military base, the radar tower, and finally, as they try to find some kind of safety, they see TSM convoying in front of them. Necro, just wait this one out. I don't think he's keen on shooting at anything. Pure Boy finally runs out of heals, and that's E36 out in 13th, but a pretty decent day for E36 overall. 20 points, nothing to be ashamed of there.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, still 1 more day to go, and we have a very top-heavy lobby here today. As you can see right now, Meta with 52 points, Petrichor Road with 47, and then it goes down to 26 on Sonics. And being around 20 there is really good coming in for tomorrow. So nothing to be ashamed of. Just need to recharge, get those Cheerios going, I guess.
Yeah, right? Got to eat more of those Cheerios. The breakfast of champions. I swear, it's the best cereal. Meta now chasing Detonation Gaming White. Buriram is chilling out over there. Dom1 Kia wraps out from the south. But for DA, winning that fight early against Infantry is really paying off for them as the circle has made its way towards these bunkers. Division X underneath Detonation Gaming White as well. They are fully situated inside of here. All of their members were forced in there, but that's a knock on Melifo on the back end for Detonation Gaming White as they try to come through. Buriram has some sight lines as well. SLR for Edie, popping, trying to see if he can lock it, but right now, no connections just yet. Meta and Pero, the 2 top teams, potentially squaring off a bit around the pharmacy. Sparking does a little bit of damage, gets a little from that Mark 14 in return, and look who has this Mark 14. It's Aches left.
I am not surprised at all that they put it on Ike's left. Petrichor Road, we haven't seen much from this game so far. They basically landed here in Samsnakia. They took this pharmacy straight away. They got themselves that drop. And right now, we're seeing the circle to force people closer and closer to them. And now, it's the time for them to show up big. Can they continue what they've done so far today? Just racking up those kills. 3 games, they got themselves 30 kills. And they're looking for more. Right here, it looks like Sonic's going to be the first one. But IXF going down to 8 win.
That's huge. That is a big opening knock. Great smokes here from the Sonics to block the view of Pero. And even getting that knock opens the door quite a bit. However, Meta was there waiting for the move, and they get H-Win knocked as he tries to pressure his way in towards Pero's building. But now they have Triple Ace. Fit coming up behind this as well. So for Sonics, it has gotten very, very challenging. They had to make this move because of the way the circle went. They're not really able to make it work just yet. Fit comes alive, but that spray not good enough to find the knock. And now you're giving Mime an opportunity to come up big. Grenade around the side. He's going to wait to see if he can get Fit peeking over. Sees the head, but doesn't connect with the shots. Fit has to back off into the blue. Grenades rainbowing, trying to find him, but no. Still short is that particular grenade on to Fit. It looks like our feed has stopped up. There we go. We're back. It's Sonics falling apart here. Mime, the only one left with the Dacia.
Mime, last one alive for Sonics. They were trying to push Petrichor Road. They got the first knock on Ike's left, but after that, it just went south. Svit, of course, being a little bit of a nuisance there for Mime. Take a few shots. Didn't get Mime down, but then he started running away. And Mime now trying to make a dive for it. Let's see if he's going to make it in. We got ourselves a new circle as well. It's going to go in towards the hangars, actually. So Mime making a good move here, but it's hard to survive this one. There's already so many teams around there. It looks like he's going to go for a guard check. Not a bad play. We've seen a lot of people trying to survive and have succeeded in surviving a long time in those guard huts, because once you're in there, it's hard for people to get a angle on you, hard for people to get close to you. Everyone just gets shot by everyone all around you. But no, Mime gets taken out by crazy.
It's a nice try by Mime. Purdy Curdy, I remember him earlier, had made that exact same guard tower work, but this time not going to be successful for Mime. So Sonics finds themselves out, but a good day for the Sonics as well. My word. Headshots, Jayers out of the vehicle. Great shooting. Pero continues their reign of destruction here on the day. And that is a runway for airplanes, not for vehicles there. TSM smart to divert to the side, because driving down the middle of it, I don't think would work out too well. Wookie was the point man for TSM, establishes the beachhead for the team to roll up and settle in. Damwon Kia finds the southern side of the circle. Meta under pressure now after a fantastic day for them. It is all coming apart, potentially. Sparking holding on just barely. First aid is out, but the smoke's there, buying him a little bit of time on the side. Furia forever. Going to be working on the side of the blue. Lou's going to throw a grenade. Great information here from Forever. Finds a bunch of damage into Furia. That grenade is good. And that's going to be Furia out in 11th place. Oh, a grenade, though, finds Forever from Crazy. No! Oh no, not like this. No. Oh, grenades, more good grenades. Speaking of from DA, rainbowing up into the top, finding one, but look who it is. It's Damwon Kia. Sungjong catches Code Marco, trying to get back into the bunker. And that's going to be another knock there into him. Smoke's coming out. Code Marco going to be attempted to be res. Now, let's see where this next circle goes, Froz.
So many teams right now. Oh, it's going to be centering up a little bit more or less. Look at them on Kia right now. They got 4 people up. They are on the south side. Not a lot of cover to work with, but if they can manage to play this wall, this might be the time that we're seeing them actually get themselves that win. A little bit of redemption and a little bit of more points for that team.
Yeah, they put themselves in a good position. Some good early rotations, good scouting, good maneuvering. Wookie, let's watch the bolt. Come on now. Crazy over towards Pero, and a few shots landing. Nothing significant. Another grenade up and over here. TSM hasn't. Oh, that one, if that's a frag, it's right on top of Iroh. Gets the knock right after he had been brought back up. Now shots from 4 a.m. as well, pouring into TSM. Wookie, how does he avoid death there? But the fire's on top of him. That's going to be TSM down and out. Fantastic work by DA to survive that. That is tough, and they get some fantastic throwables on top of the roof there.
How many utilities do they have? And we see it, of course, after taking out TSM, going for the next bunker. That one is going to be inside the zone, so they can work with that. They can't get inside that one. That one is closed, though, so they got to work with the top, and they, of course, still have that US. They might want to make sure that they keep the tires on it, because that might be some really good cover for the next upcoming circle after this. Again, Damwon Kia playing on the south side, and they have Petrichor Road on the north side trying to make their way in, but metagaming here in the middle as well, trying to farm some more kills.
What a shot there by Silzen. That's a couple big knocks into peril from Meta. Sparking had just taken Aches left down. Now Long in trouble himself along the fence line. Knocked. Sparking watching Svit. Svit takes a little bit of damage, but Sparking, Buriram's going to put him behind the side of the hill, and that at least gives Svit a little bit of room to try to drive in. Has to settle up next to a tree, but Silzen has opened quite a bit of space for himself. Quick with that grenade. If this connects, that's going to be huge. It gets a bunch of damage. Doesn't get the knock, but Mill's going to be there potentially to finish the job. Somehow Svit survives that grenade. Going to be tossed, and there's the finish from Silzen. What a round for him so far. 3 kills.
Meta Gaming just keeps on racking up the kills. This whole day has all been about Meta Gaming and Petrichor Road, and they're not stopping yet. Right now, they're going up against each other, but look at that. Noadra finds Mill, and that's Petrichor Road out on 7th place. They do end up with 51 points today, which is not bad for 4 games.
No, that's excellent for 4 games. Normally, you'd probably find yourself on top of the lobby after 4 games with 51 points. But if it wasn't for Meta's stupendous day, it'd be a different story indeed. Division X chilling out underneath said team. Metagaming and C's is alive for Detonation Gaming White. Just one, the only one alive for them. DA on the west, Buriram in the east, Kia Damwon on the south, centering up once again on top of these bunkers. So for DA, they can continue to work the backside of their particular bunker. Silzen pretty well pinned in. It's going to take a whole lot of smokes or a whole lot of luck to get out of there.
Looking at this, it's going to be very hard for anyone to push into and trying to breach Division X Gaming. Them holding inside there means that they have a lot of cover, and anyone that gets close, they're gonna get shot by all their teams all around. And of course, you have Detonation just above them as well that will be helping out anyone that is getting close to them. Right now, Damon Kia on the south side, as you can see, they're having a little bit of trouble here, trying to find a foot into this circle. But Buriram is making it real hard for them by shooting them from this this dip over here. Buriram still has their vehicles down there, all safe, all tires, so they can make a fort inside the next circle if they make it in.
Oh no, and Sparking was cooking a grenade in his hand, and he's gonna fall, unfortunately. Now it's up to Silzen. Breaks out, doing some laps around the tower. Gets out to the fence line and doesn't get knocked, so that's something for Silzen, but that fence line isn't in the circle until you get far over to Buriram's side. However, Buriram has to send it, and that knock on a Sparking definitely opens the door big time for them with just C's left. So Buriram gets ahead, and now Under has been knocked by Godmeow. Now Sungjong returns the favor, gets the knock on to Godmeow. Silzen still behind. Nawadra and Buriram well aware of what's going on there. Under has that UAS in front of him, so going for the res. Godmeow is basically dead to right. Sungjong finds another good angle. Silzen helping out here, getting a knock. Buriram, that's 3 down. Just Kanaxi left as he backs up to try to go for the res. Meanwhile, DA is pushing up, using this opportunity to get further into the center, get closer into this fight. I love this maneuver by DA. It's perfectly timed.
Look at that. At the same time, Damon Kia is also pushing from the east side right now. Everyone's getting on top of this bunker. This is where it's going to be the last stand. King of the hill. Who's going to be the king? It's going to be the last one standing. Smash goes down. And Sam, Sungjong, what are you doing?
Huge grenade from Sungjong finishes off Buriram. Damwon Kia wants to turn their fortunes in this event around. 4 up. Division X inside the bunker. DA and C's on top. Code Marco around the side finds such a good spray on to Kale. That's going to be the knock into him. Under now has some grenades to throw himself. Gets some good damage into Smash. More throwables being exchanged. Indigo has found C's. Up over the side is Sungjong again. Rocking and rolling, 4 kills already. Might be trying to make it 5. Is Under is going to go for the grenade over in Metrelius's direction. Doesn't connect with much there. A bit too far, a bit too strong with the arm. 1 more left for Under. He really wants to get that other side open for them. That one is indeed not going to do it. As he pops over the side, Metrelius is ready for him. Where's the reinforcements here? They need to win this. Sungjong gets another. Sungjong, can he get the 3rd here? He gets it! Sungjong is cracked out of his mind right now! Huge play from Sungjong!
Division X Gaming, they finally pushed out now. They know that it's only one team left and they're looking for it. Only one player is standing. It's gonna be Kale. And right now, it's gonna be rough for him. And yes, he does go down. Division X Gaming, they play passive, but they take home the chicken dinner. But what a game by Songjong in the end there, though.
I mean, that was just crazy from him. Stepping up big time, finishing off Buriram and DA almost by himself. Fantastic round for Songjong. If anybody else had been able to hang on for Damwon Kia, they might have been able to win it, but Division X, by benefit of being underneath the bunker, gets the win. But really the story of that one, DA and Damwon Kia, in my opinion, just really good maneuvers by them late in that game to give them good finishes.
Yeah, we saw them both being pushing out from one direction each. DA coming in from the west, Damwon Kia coming in from the east. When they heard that fight going on top of that bunker, it was basically, as we were saying, king of the hill. But the Kings, it was Division X Gaming being inside. They opted to push out super late and just doing it with the right timing, making sure that when everybody else is down, that's when we're gonna push out. We're just gonna grab that chicken dinner. We don't want to risk anything. We're gonna get those save points. That's what we're all about here.
You got to take the wins where you can get them, and you know, you make the right plays, you make the right moves, you come out at the right time. Everybody else has to fight around you. You know, if you're gonna take a bunker, that's one of the better ones to take, and they really do a good job holding on to it.
Yeah, and even though like sometimes you just gotta go there early and you gotta double it down and make sure, okay, this is where it's gonna end. We want to just go there. But yeah, that's it for us for today, I guess. So we're just gonna go back to the desk and let them break it down. So for Clover and Godspeed, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Froz. And yes, we are here to break down that really complex, very difficult DXG win that they managed to get themselves 3 kills. But hey, you know what? Like they said, you get yourself in a position to win a game, you got to do what you got to do to get the win. They get their 13 points, but they're not the real story. Let's be real. The real story, to me, were 2 teams in particular. Clover, I'm going to throw you the first one. Damwon Kia, finally showing signs of life.
This is the Damwon Kia that I think we've been missing, right? They looked on point. Their movement, their mechanics, everything looked great. And 9 kills. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm speechless right now. But really, with Damwon, this is what we've been wanting from them, right? We want to see them come in, play the edge, keep 4 up alive, get themselves in a great positions. Unfortunately for them, as that fight finished, they were really low on armor, and that was kind of the fall for them there.
Rough stuff for sure. Godspeed, I'm going to throw you the second team that I want to talk about here, and that is going to be Digital Athletics. What do you got?
I mean, the real question is, what does Code Marco and Metralius got? Because they played that. I mean, that drive-by too was out of control. I really want to touch upon Songjong though. He played absolutely out of his mind. 7 frags. He pretty much, I think, 1v3 or 1v4'd DA at the end. Which, I mean, DA was fighting the whole time too, so they were almost out of utility and everything, and they played well as well. But man, what an exciting game! DXG. I mean, you can't hate. They stayed in that bunker. They let everyone else fight on top of them. And then when it was time for them to come out, they came out and struck. So, you know, good win on them. But yeah, ultimately it was Songjong and DA playing remarkably well that game.
Absolutely. And I think you got to give credit where credit is due, right? In the first place, DA, Clover. This is a team that's been having to sit here every single day. You know, struggling, having a hard time. They got to sit here, they got to look at chat, lighting them up every time some good or bad happens. But yet, at the end of the day, they're still willing to make that push off of that grenade and take a very high-risk play, very high-risk, high-reward play. And that speaks so much to the constitution of this team, the mental fortitude of this team, that they're still willing to take those kind of plays after all this stuff that's been just kind of piled onto them, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when we were watching that happen, the three of us just in the green room even were screaming, what are they doing? That this was just going to be another thing that was going to fall apart, but it didn't. They were really resilient. The drive-by was flawless. You know, Smash doing a really good job trying to stay up as long as he could away from infantry, and then obviously did get knocked, but pulled back to safety, and the rest of DA was quick on their feet, took that position, and then that got them in a really great spot for the late game that they could play. I mean, today's matches just showed not just DA, Damwon, but to a lot of teams that really needed to kind of show that growth and step it up. I also want to give a quick shout out to Pure Boy, right? That play that we saw
Hell
just
yeah.
outside of the West Bridge.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was absolutely insane until Furia decided to bridge camp and kind of crush the rest of his hopes and
For
dreams.
4 circles, by the way.
I know Godspeed was really feeling that Furia bridge camp into the blue there. It was really top tier level stuff. Well, the end of the day, it's still going to be Meta and Petrichor Road that are at the top, having a fantastic day once again for Meta, and Petrichor showing that China is still a gigantic force to be reckoned with. What will tomorrow bring us? Who knows? But we've got a grand finals day 1 coming here in a couple of hours. Tomorrow we will have the last 4 games of this lobby, followed again by the last 4 games of the grand lobby. So much PUBG for you guys to watch. Make sure you hang out, make sure you stick around, and until then, we will see you next time.